Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Top 5. Happy Tuesday to everyone out there. What's going on, Jason? How you doing tonight?
Doing okay. How about yourself?
Doing all right. Been working on some projects at home and in the middle of a really big one. It's been something I'm putting off forever, but it feels good to finally be getting started on it. So, good to be back for another episode of Top 5. Jason, what is our topic for tonight?
Yeah, today we're doing top 5 games that you played in 2024. So it didn't have to come out in 2024, but it had to be something kind of new or something that you haven't really started on. Because again, we can all just choose one of our favorite games and just keep saying that's our game of the year. But we're kind of doing a little take on it and ending our 2024 finally with top 5 today with going back and what we liked last year.
Yeah, so as you guys all know, I don't play new stuff very often. So if it was like games that came out in 2024, I wouldn't even be able to make a top 5 list. I didn't even play 5 games that came out last year. But yeah, the games that we played in 2024, the idea was not something you played for like the millionth time, but maybe something you played for the first time, or maybe went back to for the first time in forever. So this will be a fun list to go over, and we have a top 5 regular joining us tonight with Carl of RNG. What's up, Carl? How you doing tonight?
I'm the unofficial third chair of the show, as I like to say.
Yeah, essentially the unofficial third co-host of Top 5.
I couldn't believe how many shows I was on. I was like, wow, didn't see that coming.
Yeah, always good to have you on, and I love that you take us up on the offer so often. So, especially when we've had a couple topics where like we didn't really get any bites, and it's like, yeah, oh come on, it's like sweet. So you've saved us a couple times too. So always appreciate it.
Like I say, anytime.
And we got a top 5 / Nerdy Neo channel debut, friend of the channel. We've chatted and stuff before, but never on stream together. We got Lowest Expectations. What's up, Lowest Expectations?
Oh, hello there, gamers. How are y'all doing today?
Doing good. Glad we're finally getting a chance to chat in real time.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I just realized thinking about a game that you and I both really, really like that I forgot to write down on my list, so I may have to adjust it here on the fly.
I think I know which one it is.
Yeah. So, I
feel like he's molesting me with his voice. I'm not gonna lie.
The soothe.
Should I get closer?
The Lowest Expectations.
Sure, why not?
So I can't believe I just spaced and didn't even write that down on my list. So I will have to make some quick adjustments here.
We got some regulars from my channel in the chat. What's up, John, Mike, and T-Man?
Well, cool. Yeah. So hello, everyone in chat. I already got quite a few people, according to the number here, and some new faces that I haven't seen before. John, welcome. October 23, Mike. Good to see you. And T-Man, that is not T-Man who's been on top 5, your buddy Jason, right? That's a different T-Man?
But that's not my T-Man.
Okay. Well, hello, T-Man. Welcome. So, and anyone... Oh, and you ruined the joke. I'm sorry. So, but welcome. We are ranking our top 5 favorite games that we played last year, and appreciate you joining us. So, with that, we'll go ahead and get into our numbers, starting with number 5, work our way up to number 1. But before we get to number 1, we take a little break to go over some honorable mentions. So that is the format if you haven't been here before. So, and it is customary that my co-host Jason here starts us off with number 5.
Oh, we're still doing that. Yeah. So no, my number 5 game is going to be a game that actually didn't come out last year. I didn't even know about it until I would say middle of last year. But the game I chose is Peglin. A lot of games that I mean, I'm a huge fan of. Oh man, I just lost the name of the game because my brain's on a million miles out. Thank you. I'm a huge fan of Peggle. Been since day one, and when I found out that there's another game just like that, and they did like a roguelike version of it, I was stuck playing that for, I would say, from the summer. That was probably my summer game, if anything, and just keep playing that over and over again. So if you have never tried it, or you do like Peggle and this one's kind of skipped by you, highly recommend it. It's super cheap to buy. It's amazing to play. There's a lot of things in the game that is really fun. Hopefully, with how this game was doing, hopefully even now we'll see another Peggle game eventually down the line, but who knows? But yeah, I mean, if you're a huge fan of just little random games like this, it's the best to play.
Okay. I was gonna say I had not even heard of this one, but it's basically just a Peggle clone.
Yeah, Peggle clone with like roguelike things thrown in there. So like if you have to beat bosses and you have to do like RPG style things, but it's just a a ball dropping game that adds a little extra things to it.
Yep, I've heard of this one actually. And as soon as you said it, I was like, oh no, I forgot. That was probably going to be in my top 5 if I had played it last year.
Yeah. I think it came out in 2 years ago now, but yeah, I didn't hear anything about it until. Yeah, I think it was.
Or was it in early access?
I mean,
I thought
early
it was a
access
game.
Yeah, I mean, if it was early access 2023, like sometimes they count those now. So, what will be another one of mine soon. But I mean, if it was last year, cool. But like I said, I thought I saw 2023 when I was playing it, so I was like, man, this went very hidden to me for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's August 27th, 2024. So I'm assuming it came out of early access then.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably why it was my summer game then.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I played I know Peggle was like all the rage, like back in the day, and I played the demo because back when Xbox Live Arcade games were like the thing, like every arcade game you could play the demo. It was basically just playing the game, but you were limited to like either the first couple levels or some time limit, and you couldn't get the achievements. But I because I love puzzle games, but when I say puzzle games, I love like thinking, like solve, move boxes from here to here so you can reach this area type of puzzle game. Like shooting balls at like tiles and stuff does not count to me as a puzzle game, so I didn't like it having the puzzle designation, although it really does. I don't know what better genre to put it in, but that was kind of the thing that kind of always like irked me about it. I'm like, that's like not really a puzzle game because it's not like solving puzzles. But the little bit I played of it, I did enjoy.
Yeah, you might like this one a little better because again, you do have to drop balls, but like you have to do damage to these enemies up top to advance and everything like that. So there's a lot of extra things that you can do.
Okay, so it looks almost like more like a Flash version of Peggle.
In a way.
Yeah, this is an interesting game. My friend Felix, he's played a lot of it. I've seen, so it looks interesting. I just haven't had a time to play it.
Yeah, I didn't play this, but I did actually play Peggle Extreme over the 2024, which is like the crossover with like Half-Life and Valve stuff. It was for free for a while. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, I remember hearing about Peggle Extreme, but like
Yeah,
I said,
but
I
still
didn't
free.
really play any of them, so I don't know what the difference was.
It's still free, so you can grab it. It's like 5 levels or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hello, Paul.
Paul's in chat. What's up, Paul? What's up? Oh, and Nerd Slap is here as well, saying, "Hail, Neil and panel. Hail, chat. What's up, Nerd Slap? Good to see you tonight, buddy. Hope you're doing well." And I'm just fixing some stuff on the back end. So, okay, cool. So, all right. Well, Carl, what about you? What is your number 5 for 2024?
So we did like a kind of year in review where I had a lot of my thoughts. So I decided to just make a whole new list of other games I played just to kind of keep it fresh.
Excellent.
Because I figured that'd be more fun. And my number 5 favorite game that I played last year was one game that I streamed, and it's called Sucker for Love.
That sounds like one of those like reality dating shows.
Kind of. So basically the premise of it is that you're trying to get
I have heard about this.
trying to get a kiss from a Eldritch horror.
Nice.
That's funny.
And it's hilarity ensues. Obviously, you kind of destroy the world, and you kind of get like your little kiss and can have all these different little outcomes and all that stuff like that. The voice acting and writing in this game is very phenomenal. It is a visual novel-esque type of game. And like I said, I just had a lot of enjoyment playing this game just from streaming it because it was like really funny. One of my favorite jokes is the only way you could tell if someone is Eldritch horror is if they could say Worcestershire sauce correctly.
Worcestershire.
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 And like I said, it's fun. I mean, I got a little kick out of it just from the storytelling. There's like 3 Eldritch horrors that you can date. I kind of forget their names off the top of my head because it's been a while. But generally speaking, it is fun. It is a good game to play on your little Steam Deck too. It's not a hentai game too. So that's another thing as well. So if you're worried about it being like one of those like weird hentai games, it's not that. It's
You streamed it, so I'm assuming it's safe.
yeah. Or I just didn't get to the hentai bits. Who knows? But it's got a bunch of different outcomes, different ways to play and get to like different conclusions of the story and what you can do. Like I said, it's a fun little gag game. It's a little bit of a little meme, but it does a lot of things well. You can tell that the devs, when they were making this game, they were just taking the piss out of everything, and it's funny. That's the best way to say it. If you're looking for a nice, fun comedy game with like a little bit of a twist and, you know, something that you could just like share with people and not be considered like a weirdo, like onto level 10, but maybe a level 5 weirdo, I highly recommend this game.
That does look very comical.
It is very comical.
It looks like it sucks. Hey.
But I don't have a room shot. Hey, and Nagrinal's here as well. What's up, Nagrinal? Good evening to you, buddy. So, yeah, I love that Lois is being our Vanna White tonight, showing off the games that we're talking about, or well, at least the ones that are on Steam. So I love it.
Vanna White ain't got nothing on me. Just saying.
Very true. So, Dabs is here as well. Hello, Dabs. Good to see you tonight.
Hey, Dabs.
Apparently, Steam is saying this game is similar to Undertale. That's interesting.
I've never played Undertale, so I couldn't tell you.
So, and Jeshuan is here saying hi. Hello, Jeshuan. Welcome. So, all right. Yeah, I didn't know. I hadn't even heard of this. Well, either game, but at least I knew, Peggle to relate Peglin to. But I'm assuming, does it say it's a visual novel or?
Yeah, I would say it's a visual novel.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Have I even? I've played a couple, but I don't really remember them. But no, it looks entertaining. So
I have a playthrough on my channel if you ever want to watch it later, Neo.
Okay, I might have to do that. So all right. I think I'll go with my number 5, and Lois can finish us off with his number 5. So my number 5 is, I don't think you'll be able to find this one on Steam, so good luck, Lois. And that is from what many people consider the best version of Metroid 2. I played AM2R last year for the first time, and it was really good. I had a couple of nitpicks. But overall, it was really great. It's one of the I haven't played a whole lot of fan-made games, but for a fan-made game, it was phenomenal. I'll
just pull up your stream.
Pull up my play of it. That works. Yeah. So there's, we did top 5. The very first episode was Metroidvanias, and Jason here, his number 1 was the original Metroid 2 on Game Boy, which I have not played yet, but I will be playing that one. And I don't have a 3DS, so I have not played Samus Returns. So this was the first time I actually played any version of Metroid 2, and it was really great. Like, I was blown away by how good the music was in a fan-made game. My only real complaint was there was a couple of times, more so towards the beginning, that like the critical path was like not obvious at all. You had to bomb like one little hidden block at the bottom of this one room that you would have no idea like that's where the critical path was, and there was like 2 or 3 hidden items in that area. That was really my only complaint. It was really great, and it played really smooth, and yeah, it played like Super Metroid, but I just started playing Super Metroid again for the first time in a very long time, and I think so far AM2R played better than Super Metroid does.
Yeah, it's like refined Super Metroid.
Yeah, and it was really excellent. So, yeah, other than that, really the just the critical path being kind of hidden a couple times, that was really my only major complaint. But it was really good, and I enjoyed it. And yeah, like I often say, like I don't really pay attention. Well, I mean, I have since I started my YouTube channel, started paying more attention to video game music, because I've met so many people who are, like that's their thing is video game music, and it's just, like never really something that's kind of like stood out to me. So since I started my channel, I've been paying more attention to video game music, and yeah, I was blown away by how good the music was in a fan made game. So a lot of people say that this is like the definitive way to play Metroid 2. I do plan to play Metroid 2, but if they ever bring Samus Returns to like Switch, then I'll play that one as well. But I don't have a 3DS, so
yeah, that needs to find a way home to another console other than the 3DS.
But yeah, AM2R was great, and I'm surprised that it still exists because of how Nintendo is. I think. I don't really know all the background on the development of the game, but I think like it came out like a day later that Nintendo sent them a cease and desist. But like, I don't know if I was able to download it before that happened because I didn't download it that long ago. I mean, I downloaded it probably a few years ago, but I'm assuming you can still go out there and get it. But I just don't know how. But yeah, the fact that it even is still out there to play is surprising given how Nintendo usually Nintendo's when it comes to these sorts of things. But yeah, AM2R was great, and it was the only of the mainline Metroid games that I'd never played any version of before. So that was
it's on the internet. It's on the internet forever.
Yeah, I figured as much. But yeah, it was the second game I played for Metroidvania Monday. So, because when I started doing Metroidvania Monday, I put out a poll. I'm like, what should I start with? And everyone's like, start with Metroid. So I was like, all right, well, I did Zero Mission first. And then I was like, you know what? Well, I'm going to go into AM2R, and currently I'm on Super Metroid, and then I'll be doing Fusion and then Dread. So, but yeah, AM2R, if you like Metroid games and have not played it, I definitely recommend. And Canadian saying AM2R had a crazy background. It was killed several times. Oh, the background on the development. Yeah, I bet. Because, yeah, Nintendo's going to Nintendo.
I don't even think I'm familiar with this one.
Yeah, I have played it before. A long time ago, though. Probably back around, I think it was not long after Nintendo sent the cease and desist. Which was, well, that was like right when it came out too. So,
and I don't know when it originally released, but I
feel like
it was like a decade ago.
It's up there. I don't know the exact amount, but I know it's up there. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't download it that long ago. It was, I want to say I probably downloaded it like probably about 6 years ago and just never got around to playing it until recently. But yeah,
I think I remember Total Biscuit talking about it actually. So it's been quite a while.
Yeah, Canadians are with me. He says AM2R is awesome. So, yeah, shout out to AM2R.
Yeah, it looks cool.
And it's funny. Yeah, I just really realized I said I haven't played many fan games, and 2 of my games on this list are fan games.
Yeah. Looks like 2016 is when it came out.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I was like, that sounds about right. So, all right. Well, sorry. As most of you guys know, I got super sick this week, so I'm still getting over being sick. So bear with me if I go into a coughing fit.
It's all good.
I'm
You
trying
got
to mute
super sick. Oh no.
I did.
Is that the project you're working on, COVID too?
Cooking something up in my lab.
The
So,
fires were just a test case.
so, all right, Lost. What was your number 5 for our list tonight?
All right. So for anyone who's familiar with my channel, I actually put out a video, the top games I played in 2024. But
I did watch that.
This list is going to be slightly different, but you should have an idea of what you're about to hear about.
You are talking about the
So-
one where you went over like the top game from each month of the year.
What?
Is that the video you're talking about?
Oh no, that was the top 12 worst takes of 2024.
Oh,
That
okay.
was
That's the one I'm
because I
thinking of.
do that as part of my news series.
Sorry,
as
that's
kind
the
of a
one I
meme.
was thinking of.
No, it was I did a top games of 2024 as well. It came out afterwards.
Oh, I think I have that on my playlist. I don't think I've gotten around to watching it yet.
No worries. It's probably better this way. So now this is all going to be a surprise for you.
Yes.
So for number 5, I have a game called Momodora Moonlit Farewell. Are any of you familiar with the Momodora series?
I have one of them because it's a Metroidvania, but I have not played it yet.
Gotcha. Okay, so
Let
let me
tell
pull
you.
it up real quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could tell you which one it is here in a moment.
No, turn off the volume. Here we go. So this is a Metroidvania series. It's an indie series made by, I believe, one person in like Brazil.
Oh, which one did you say this was?
Moonlit Farewell. So it's the 5th game.
Okay, I have Riviere Under the Moonlight, but I have not played it yet.
Okay, that's the 4th game. So the first 2 are like really basic and play kind of like Game Boy games. Like the first one is like completely linear. It's not even a Metroidvania. The second one is a Metroidvania, barely. It's like super. Both of them are super short too. The third one is not a Metroidvania. I believe that one's a bit more linear. 4th one is Metroidvania, and the 5th one's a Metroidvania. And the 5th one here that you're seeing on screen is I think he said it's the final one, but we'll see about that. Because this one is the best one in the series by far. It takes a lot of the stuff from previous games and like makes it better. The combat's like way more refined. The difficulty is a lot more balanced. Reverie Under the Moonlight, I remember being like really difficult, like having crazy difficulty spikes, and then got easier towards the end for some reason.
And you're saying that one was the 4th one in the series?
Yes.
Okay. It's kind of funny because, Xbox is my platform of choice, and Xbox has had this with a couple of different Metroidvanias. So if it's got Metroidvania on it, I'll play it. And there's been a couple games that are Metroidvanias, but like I had known absolutely nothing about the franchise going into this game. And it's like a game that's like in the middle of the franchise, but it's the only one that's a Metroidvania. So I haven't played any other ones. So it's just funny. When I do get to it, I'll be playing the 4th game in the franchise and not have any idea what it's about.
Yeah.
Same thing with Touhou Luna Nights was a similar, where it was like this anime type game where I knew absolutely nothing about the franchise.
That was me when I went into Record of Lodoss War, the Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth.
I was just going to mention that one as well, because
I know nothing about the series.
That's the one that I actually challenged Canadian to that game for Carl and our challenge this year. It was a pretty good game, but I knew absolutely nothing about the franchise, and that was another one. It was a Metroidvania that was on Game Pass, so I played it before it left Game Pass, but I knew absolutely nothing about the franchise. So yeah, there's a few of the games that kind of fit this this mold, I guess.
Yep. Okay, and the thing I haven't mentioned yet, the story, I can't remember most of it because I played this game back in like February or something like that. But from what I know, you play as like these shrine maidens, and they use like a magical like maple leaf as their main weapon. So it's kind of interesting.
Are they from Canada?
No, the guy's from Brazil.
Brazil. Okay.
But that would be funny if he was Canadian.
The magical maple leaf, that's just got Canadian written all over it. And not you,
They're
angry
Canadian
just...
shrine maidens.
So, okay.
And yeah. I don't remember most of the story because it's been too long.
Yeah, a lot of those types of games that like I have, especially when I know nothing about the franchise. Like I played the game for the gameplay, not for the story.
Yeah, and the story is, from what I remember, the story is super light anyway. So if you jump in with the fourth game, it's not going to be a huge deal. But if you try to go back and play the older ones, it's going to be like, oh, the game feels very archaic and annoying to play, I guess.
Okay.
But I don't know. The first three are all super short, and the first two are free, I believe. You can get them on itch.io for free, I think.
Let's see here. Oh, you know what? Because the reason why I have the one that I just mentioned, I always forget what it's called. Riviere Under the Moonlight is because that's the only one of the games that's on Xbox. But I just noticed that Moonlit Farewell is listed on True Achievements, but as coming out sometime this year. So looks like it'll get an Xbox port. So if it also qualifies as a Metroidvania, I'll be playing it at some point. So, all right. Let's see here. All right, let's write that down. 2710. All right, we'll get on to our number 4s. And I think I'll go ahead and start off number 4 since I mentioned since my number 4 is also a fan game, which is funny because I don't think I'd ever even played a fan game until last year, and then I played 2 of them. And I wasn't going to put this one on here because it's one of my favorite games ever, but I think it's different enough from the base game that I think it qualified. So, if this doesn't agree with kind of your topic, Jason, I'm sorry.
I'll throw it out.
But so as most people know, like Mega Man, I freaking love Mega Man. It's one of my favorite franchises, and Mega Man X in particular is my favorite subgenre of Mega Man games, and Mega Man X3 is my favorite Mega Man game. I knew this existed for a while, but I didn't actually play it until last year, and it was Mega Man X3 Zero Project. Someone made a fan-made version of Mega Man X3, but you can play through the whole game as Zero if you want, because originally you can only play Zero once for a couple of minutes. But someone made it so you can play through the entire game as him, or you can switch back and forth between him and X whenever you want. I played it entirely with Zero because I played X3 so many times. Playing through it as X is no different than it is normally, but I played through it entirely with Zero because I've never been able to play through it with Zero. So that's why I felt like it was different enough because I got to play through it as a new character for the first time. So the Mega Man X3 Zero Project was really freaking cool. Getting to play through Zero, who I've talked about on Party Chat when we talked about like favorite like sidekicks. He's like my number 1 favorite sidekick as well. He's a cool character. And because X4 was the first time you could actually play through him in its entirety, from Capcom. But someone made this fan version of X3 where you can play through X3 as Zero, and it was really, really good. So, thanks to Dude, he also let me know that there is also a retro achievement set of achievements for Zero Project, which also bumped it up on my my priority of playing it, because I knew about it for a while, but I hadn't actually played it. And he's like, yeah, there's retro achievements for that too. I'm like, oh, sweet. So that bumped it up. And the main reason why is because I played that was because I was going through the Mega Man X collection on GameCube, and I was just so burned out on Mega Man X6. I was like, I need a palate cleanser. So booted up Mega Man X3 Zero Project, and I was like, oh my God, this is the definitive way to play X3. So if you like Mega Man X3 as much as I do, and you haven't played Zero Project, you really need to. You're doing yourself a disservice if you have not played the Zero Project and you like Mega Man X3 like I do. So
Did they use the Super Nintendo version of X3, or did they use like the Saturn or anything?
Yeah,
like
it's
that?
the Super Nintendo version. So I see you've got me pulled up. Did you just pull up me playing Mega Man X3, or is that actually?
Yeah. I don't know
Okay,
if this is the right one or not.
I don't think I streamed any of the Zero Project, so
Well, this is close enough then.
yeah. I was like, I see that's me playing X3, but that's not a Zero Project. I don't think I streamed any of it. I played it all off stream. But yeah, Mega Man X3 Zero Project is awesome, and yeah, just talking about it makes me want to go play it again. So yeah, that was my number 4. And T-Man says, Mega Man X4, nice, my favorite X game. Oh, okay, a lot of people love X4. I love X1, 2, and 3 more than I like X4, but X4 is great as well. It's definitely, in my opinion, it's the best of everything X4 and on. But I love 1, 2, and 3. Those are X3, X1, and then X2. That's my ranking of the first 3. So, yeah, and he said X6 was a nightmare. I didn't remember it being as like I remember people like not liking it. And the first time I played X6 in like 2018, I didn't really have much of an issue of it. But going back and playing it last year, I was like, okay, I get it now on why people don't like X6. So, yeah. So, all right. Carl, what's your number 4?
My number 4 was a game that I finally beat this year and finally got over the first level yips. Persona 4 Golden. Been trying to play all the Persona games as much as I could this year, or last year, I should say. So after Persona 3 Reloaded, I started playing Persona 4 again. And I finally beat it last year, and it was really, really good. I've beaten pretty much all the new Personas, as they're like to be called in colloquial terms. There's Persona 1 and 2, which are considered the older ones. So I've only beaten 3, 4, and 5. And 4, let me tell you something about 4. I love 4, not because of the story is like anything amazing or great, but because the characters are really fun in this one, comparatively speaking to the other ones. I feel like Persona 4's themes about like self-acceptance and all that stuff are really great. They're well done. The cast just feels like they're all friends, and it feels just like that good old summer adventure, you know? What's that one movie where they go and look for a dead body? What's that one called? Do you guys know?
Goonies?
No, it's like the 3 boys. One of them is kind of a weirdo as an adult now. I'm trying to remember.
Weekend at Bernie's?
It's not Weekend at Bernie's.
I don't know. I think I've heard of the movie you're talking about, but I don't think I've seen the movie you're talking about.
Oh, Jesus. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Stand By Me. There you go. Stand By Me.
Yeah.
Thank you, T-Man.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of just like that whole summer adventure of just like growing up and being kids and all that stuff like that. There's some really good deep themes in there, some really good deep stories that really tug at your heartstrings of just like what's it like to be kind of like a family, what it's like to be a teenager, kind of like going on like adventures in the boonies, you know, because I grew up in more of like the suburbs, and it's kind of reminded me a lot of my childhood more than other ones, because the other ones take place in cities. This is the only one that takes place out in the boonies, and it talks a lot about like, you know, what happens when you have like that giant new like super Walmart that just gets built and how it disrupts like local businesses and stuff. Very late early 2000s for sure, a lot of it, especially with the flip phones and everything, but in a Japanese sense. I really did enjoy the combat. I did enjoy getting to learn all these new characters, obviously. And on top of that, too, I just enjoyed the secret ending and all the work you had to put in. It felt a lot different from the other Personas in a way, just because like the cast and characters felt like they were actually more friends than like people working together, you know?
Yeah, I couldn't get past the first level stuff either when I was playing in it so long. So I'm glad that, like I said, I do agree with all the stuff that you were saying about the characters, but I just wish for some odd reason it was just too slow for me in the beginning to try to get everybody together for the high school and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I do agree with what you were saying.
Yeah, I know a lot of people say Persona 4, specifically to Golden, is their favorite one. I kind of have like different views on all the Persona games. Like all the themes I think are done really well, but I think Persona 4 really has like the best cast of characters. They're all very likable. None of them are like, I would say, annoying. Like besides Teddy, but he's kind of made that way. But on top of that too, is like once you get past like the first initial levels and then you start running into more characters, it really starts to build out and still starts to pick up, especially too because Persona 4 Golden is actually the shortest of all the Personas that I've played. I think I clocked in under 62 hours, and comparatively speaking to Persona 3, which I put in 80, and Persona 5, which I put in 100 plus, it's definitely, interesting, especially because this was built for the PlayStation Vita originally.
Okay.
And then you see just a lot of quality of life improvements as they ported it to PC first, and then I played this on Xbox and the PC. I finally just plunged right in and just completed it on Xbox. But yeah, no, I really think that there's something here with this game in terms of if you're looking for a very upbeat, positive story that talks about like, accepting yourself for who you are and not trying to live up to societal standards. This is one of those games for sure. There's a lot of things in this game where there's characters that like are questioning their sexuality and how like they are perceived because they kind of like more girly things, but he's a man and he's supposed to be tough and everything, And then there's like characters that are like pop stars and how like the pop industry kind of treats people too and how she sees herself in that industry. I really do like this. There's a lot of really good talent in there. I think it's Troy Baker and Laura Bailey are two voice actors too in this game.
I believe so.
Yes. And yeah, I highly recommend this for everyone. It goes on sale quite a lot. I only think it's like $20 usually digitally. But if you're looking for a good Persona game, people always ask like which ones are like would you recommend it for people to start with? I could honestly tell you, you could start with 5, you could start with 4, you could start with 3. It doesn't really matter where you go. Every one of them are really good, and each one will leave you probably satisfied in a different way. And I'm happy to say that Persona 4 Golden, I can understand why people really like it a lot. It's still not my favorite Persona game. That's still Persona 3, but I would say that this game is a good B grade for sure.
And Mike was there with you saying that you can start with Persona 5 Royal or Persona 3 Reload. So, being the Persona Luddite that I am, Persona 4 Golden, is the Golden mean something? Like, is that just like the more modernized version?
So Atlas has a tendency to do a thing where they re-release the same game, but with like an expanded DLC kind of added onto it. So like Persona 3 came out and then they did like a Persona FES, which added more to the story and like a different post game. Golden is like the same way. It adds more to the story, new characters and so on and so forth with an expanded end game. And that's the same way with Persona 5 Royal and some quality of life updates and everything else like that too.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're going to play these games, you can play like the vanilla version or you could play like the optimal version. And Golden, Royal, and Reloaded now, or Portable, I think Portable is just as good too, are like the more optimal versions.
Okay. So, all right. And was that the only Persona game you played last year, or did you play more than one Persona?
I played Persona 3 Reloaded as well, but I didn't want to. I talked about that enough, so
that's
I knew I was going to like that one, So So I just didn't kind of put it on my list. I wanted new experiences. I Persona 3, obviously, as I've said many times on this channel and others, is like probably like my favorite JRPG of all time. So when you give me a remake with more pretty graphics, quality of life updates, and just as good of the story, of course I'm gonna like it. You know, it's like just dangling keys at a baby. It's like, you know. So I kind of kept that one off.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, let's go with Lois for your number 4.
All right, my number 4 is an easy one. Zelda Echoes of Wisdom.
Ah, okay. I totally
for those
forgot
who
about that one, even though I haven't played it yet. But
yeah, for those who don't know, this is the first game where you actually play as Zelda.
yeah,
And I did something a little interesting on this one when I played it. But I'll talk about that a bit later. Basically, this one is very much similar to like A Link to the Past, or like the Oracle games, the 2D ones, you know?
mm-hmm.
So it feels like a modern version of that. Let's see if I can pull up a... Here we go. Nope, not here. There we go. So yeah, it plays a lot very similar to A Link to the Past, but rather than, you know, being Link with a sword, you use Zelda with her little magic rod, and you basically play as a summoner. That's kind of how I would describe the class you play as, I guess. So you find a bunch of objects in the world, you copy them with your rod, and then you're able to summon them at any time. And there's no limit to how many times you can do this. So you can basically like spam things to fight enemies. And one of my best and most efficient strategies was to summon an army of crabs to destroy everything, including several bosses. It was one of the most effective strategies that I could find. So that was very silly. And because it's less focused on like actual combat, the game is a lot more puzzle oriented. The dungeons and the puzzles were by far the best aspect of the game, in my opinion.
Okay.
However, because you have like unlimited summon powers, you can pretty much cheese the entire game. So it's not very difficult for like 90% of it. The only things that I found difficult were fighting a certain super boss enemy, you could call it. And the final boss was kind of difficult because I did the totally intelligent thing of playing through the entire game blind with 3 hearts on hero mode.
Is hero mode the more difficult version?
Yes. So you take double damage in hero mode, and no hearts will spawn on the map at all.
Oh.
So your only means of healing are like other sources. And one of the main sources in this game is actually summoning a bed and resting on it.
And what made you want to play through it that way?
Well, Nintendo games nowadays are pathetically easy. That's basically it. So
Okay.
when I played it this way,
challenge.
Yeah, exactly. I died 14 times total, which is not very much, I don't think.
No.
And earlier in the year, I played through other Zelda games, including Oracle of Ages with 3 hearts.
Okay.
And I died in that one 31 times, even though it was my 5th playthrough of it.
Man, I haven't played Ages in forever.
This game was nominated for Family Game of the Year in some categories, so I'm not shocked that this game was like super hard.
Yeah, and it didn't win, did it? I don't think it won the award for it, did it?
No.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at that either, because there's quite a few issues that I had with this game. The frame rate's really bad, even though it's really simple.
Gonna ask you about that. I've heard that there was some performance issues with this game.
Yeah, and there's really no excuse for it. I mean, look at it. Come on.
Yeah,
It's the same. They use the same engine, I believe, as the Link's Awakening remake, which
yeah. It's like,
I
it looks
have a lot
exactly
of
the same.
I have a lot of negative opinions about that game. Just saying.
Oh, we need to talk about that sometime.
Luckily, Switch
Yeah,
2 will
that's
fix all
another
these
topic.
issues. That's all I know.
Link's Awakening
Hopefully.
remake has issues that the Switch 2 cannot fix. But we'll move on from that. We'll talk about this game.
Well, I think he's saying that playing this game, Echoes of Wisdom on a Switch 2 will help it perform better.
It should. But because of how simple it is, there's like no excuse though. Because you have Mario Odyssey, which runs at 60 FPS, and I don't remember that game having like any performance dips when I played it. And that game is like way more detailed than this. But Nintendo themselves, they didn't actually develop this. It's one of their like second party studios or maybe their first party. I don't know. So they're not quite as experienced, I guess.
Seems you are having problems leaving that door there, buddy.
Yeah, I think that was probably me looking at the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife is currently playing this game right now, actually. I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah, I do want to play it. I just don't know when I will get to it.
Yep, it's worth playing. It's still worth playing, despite I'm very overly critical towards Nintendo and Zelda, especially because it's my favorite series. But it's definitely worth playing if you like the series. I would recommend getting it at like $40 rather than 60. But if you get it for 60 and you like it enough, there's a lot of people that love it. So
All I
should be all
know,
right, I guess.
all I know is that this game finally advertises correctly. You get to play as Zelda in a Zelda game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've
really
also been
do.
told this game is woke, so I won't be playing it.
Oh, it's the most woke game I've ever played.
I really thought they should have called it the Legend of Link, since you're finally playing as Zelda.
That would've
Missed
been funny.
opportunity there.
But yeah, I definitely look forward to playing it eventually. I just don't know when, because it'll probably be a while till I get to it. Oh, Canadian is saying, yeah, it was a second party studio.
Yeah.
So I did
Oh yeah,
not
this
know that.
one is Grezzo that made it.
Grezzo.
They've been making the Zelda remakes since the 3DS days. And I think this was their first one, the first original one that they worked on.
Oh,
Unless there's one I'm
okay.
forgetting.
Gotcha.
I don't think so.
Okay.
See, I'm just summoning
Cool.
spiky balls for this little armadillo to run right into him.
Man, he took a lot of hits.
My wife only played this game because she saw armadillos on the cover and said, I'm in.
She a fan of armadillos?
I guess so. When we were at that Galloping Ghost, she found a game that had armadillos, and she's like, I played a game with armadillos. That's the only reason why.
So, all right. Well, Jason, what is your hot take for number 4?
Not a hot take. It's just a early access game. Came out late last year. I actually streamed a little bit of it. But Path of Exile 2. I guess I have to put a game in there that I probably played close to 70 hours at the end of last year with. So, I mean, if you're a fan of those kind of games, give it a try. Yes, it is early access. So if you want to wait until it's free, it will be free. I'm assuming just like the other one did as well. But again, if you're a fan of just looking and going through dungeons, going through things, making your character strong, it was just a perfect game at the time for me to play. Path of Exile is great. I can't wait to see what they do with more of it. But yeah, I can't speak any higher of it right now, just because of how much fun I've been playing it.
Did you play a lot of the first one?
I didn't play a lot of the first one. Again, when I got into it, I always kept saying like I'm the Diablo baby that's coming in to play this game, because I know that there's more to do in this one. But again, I'm a huge fan of Diablo. But yeah, I was like, I'm gonna try this out. I didn't get. By the time I would have got into the first one, I would have been so far behind in a way. So I just realized, if there's a second one coming out, which hey, it did, I'm just gonna get into it early and just see how it is and just kind of learn there, and then just kind of go from there. So
Okay. So yeah, this game, like, it's supposed to be free to play, and then early access, like it's $30. Like, wait a minute, it's free to play if you want to play it early.
Mhm.
It's like that didn't make sense to me, and I was
Yeah,
arguing with
it's just
people
one of
on X
those.
about it. It's like,
Mm.
well, it's free to play. I understand, like, if you want like bonus stuff out of it,
Well, you do get bonus stuff for paying the $30 too. So
right? But if it's free to play, it
mhm.
should have a free to play early access option as well.
I
Yeah,
love Neo.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree on that one, but like I said, it's just one of the things. It's like it's almost like a you're backing, so you get to try it out early because the game's, like I said, it's early access, so the game's free when it comes out, but it's not really out yet.
Yeah. Is there any timeline on when it's going to hit 1.0?
I actually have no idea. I know they keep doing some of the updates for the early access stuff. If I had to guess, probably middle late this year, if I had to guess, because I know they still need to add more acts to it that they want to do. They want to add more things. They're trying to make weapons and characters balanced like they're going to do all the time, but they're just trying to make it where every character is valuable, not just the 2 or 3 of them that a lot of people have been migrating towards. But if they work like they did before, and I think the game should be fine, but we'll see.
And how you said you got about 70 hours in?
I currently have, let's see. Sorry, I currently have 110.4 hours.
A little bit more.
Yeah,
A lot
and
of damage.
is that how many characters is that across?
That is 2.
Two. Okay. And what class or whatever are those characters?
One was the what was it, the mercenary, and the other one, which is my favorite, is the monk.
The monk. Okay. I don't really know much about the game, but I
Yeah.
have often praised the first one.
Mhm.
I don't even know if you want to call it praise, but I've mentioned it on many an open mic and party chat and stuff, just because it has one of the most insane skill trees I've ever seen in a game ever. So I'm assuming they carried that forward into this one too.
Yeah, this one's pretty massive as well.
Yeah, I hear nothing but good things about this and the first one. But I'm a noob to this genre. The only one I've played is Titan Quest. So
Okay.
I feel like if I jump into this one, then all the other ones are going to seem like really quaint and simple by comparison, and I won't like them as much.
Yeah,
I've never played Diablo or anything.
Same.
Titan Quest is the only one.
I never played Diablo. I was about this close to getting into Diablo 3 because my friend's buddy was going to sell me his copy, but then he decided not to, so I never ended up playing any Diablo. And I also got about this close to getting into Path of Exile 1 at one point. And it was basically that skill tree that kind of that scared me off. I'm like, that is way too much.
That scared you off? Really? The skill tree?
And some people that I knew had played it, they're like, you have to go through like 10 characters before you like really understand things and be able to build a viable character. And I'm like, I'm gonna pass on it then.
Yeah, I haven't noticed that on at least on this one. So like I have 2 characters, and I mean, you can always refund what your skill tree is if you want to try something else. I mean, gold becomes pretty easy to get later on in the game because there's weapons you don't need, you can get rid of them, but the materials to upgrade things, that's like the new hard part for me. Is be like, cool, what do I need to save to upgrade this? Because again, I don't want to upgrade everything, and next you know it, I get an awesome item that I wanted to upgrade this kind of thing. But other than that, I think the graph, fairly easy. Just kind of just ideas what you're going with and what you want to kind of do. But yeah, no, this one, when it comes out and it is free for everyone to play, I can't wait to see how many people actually jump on.
Cool.
Right on.
So
It looks like you got a little raid in case you missed it.
Raid
I
Shadow Legends?
do not get any notifications of that. So if someone rated, awesome. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we got a couple.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's
Thank you.
pretty decent viewing right now, which is pretty awesome. So, hello.
What was the raid at?
Yeah, I don't know.
Horny Alf was one of them.
Oh, Horny.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you, Horny Alpha. Appreciate it, buddy.
I don't know what YouTube was thinking. I don't know what YouTube was thinking when they decided to put white text on a white background for this.
Are you?
It's the
when you say white text on white background, what are you?
oh, so
referring to?
it like when you look at the chat, it replaces the pinned comment briefly, and it's white text on a white background, so you can't even barely read like who is rating you.
Oh, yeah. There's no notification
Unless
of it,
it's a
so. Oh, okay. I had to pull up the stream on YouTube because I've only got it up in Restream and it doesn't show you that. Now that I've got it pulled up on
Hey,
on
Steve.
YouTube, I see what you're talking about. So, what's up, Steve? What's up, Horny Alf? I appreciate the raid, buddy. Hope you're doing well tonight. Good to see you. So, I appreciate that. So, thanks for the noticing that, Lois.
yeah.
Yeah, I noticed it. Yeah, I saw at least 5 people joined us. So yeah, thank you so much.
So, yeah, well, welcome to all you Raiders. We're just going over some of the favorite games that we played last year. So, Jason was just telling us about his number 4, which was Path of Exile 2.
Mhm.
So, and that will bring us into our number 3s. And 7. So, Carl, what was your number 3?
My number 3 was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Oh, I think you just made a good friend of Jason.
Jason and I talked for I think an hour after I finished the game. So
Something like that. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, so he already knew.
yeah, he did know.
Yeah, I had a feeling this game would come up here.
I think for me it wasn't in my immediate JRPGs that I played last year. I had a couple that were higher rated, but because I already talked about those ones, I figured that I just kind of want to say Final Fantasy VII. I was bullied into it by Jason and Tyler and our friend Mr. Angry Canadian. After many slurs that I was called, I was like, fine, I'll retry it one more time. So I replayed Final Fantasy VII Remake at 60 FPS, and I was like, oh, this is really fun. Then I went right over to Crisis Core, which is the prequel. And then I was like, well, I'm already here. So in a 2-week span, I beat all 3 of these games in a row. And I gotta say this, the opening for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is probably one of my favorite openings I've seen in a video game in quite some time.
Nice.
I was just floored by it. I was like, wow, I couldn't believe that this is the play they were going with. I did like the characters a lot. I got to be a lot more friendly with Barrett and Yuffie and Aerith. Tifa, I still think her voice actress is a bored. I don't feel like she's doing a good job, but everyone else, I feel like they are just superb, and I think they do amazing jobs. Especially Yuffie. Yuffie makes me laugh all the time because I just like the way that her voice actress captures her character very well. Besides that, there's a lot of twists and turns in that game that I really did enjoy. As somebody who isn't the biggest Final Fantasy fan, I just really like what they're doing. As I've said with a few other people by now, either number 3 is going to hit it and they're just going to hit all the points correctly, or it's going to fall flat on his face and we're all going to look like assholes. But that's neither here nor there. I enjoyed my time with it. I love the combat. There was a little bit of repetitiveness in the open world towards the end of the game where I kind of just was like, okay, I just kind of want to be done and start to play it some more. I think I put 52 hours into this game. So I just kind of was at the end. I'm a sucker for good open world, and I do think this is a plus and a negative for Final Fantasy Rebirth. is on one hand, they really get you going really quickly, which is something a lot of JRPGs struggle with, is the abnormally long and slow openings. All these Final Fantasy games have done it right so far, where they just get you right into the action and they don't make you like sit down and go through like 7 hours of cutscenes like they did with 16. So that's a plus. But when I got towards the end of the game, I just kept getting really sick and tired of like some of the gimmicks. Queen's Blood, I hate Queen's Blood. They made me play too much Queen's Blood, and the open world aspect kind of got bad at the end. But man, that beginning, 75% of the middle, and the ending is fucking great, like over the top of great. I gave this game like a solid B. It ran really well on my PS5. It didn't have any real frame rate dips, but it did have some resolution problems when I put it on performance mode. So there were like sometimes kids looked like their souls were stolen and they had no face. It's just like some weirdness. But if I do think this is if you are really a Final Fantasy fan, especially if you love 7, there's just so much good stuff in this game. And as I keep saying to people, if you play the original on the PS1 or the remaster that they re-released later, that's like Back to the Future Part 1. If you play this new trilogy that they're making, you got to look at it like Back to the Future Part 2. That's the best way I can describe it. And honestly, like I said, I fully admit I was wrong about it. I take back all my criticisms that I had before of it because I gave it another chance. 30 FPS boost does really help a game like this. Let me tell you that right now. And I can honestly say, like, I feel like I needed to put it on my list to say, like, I was wrong. And I feel like number 3 is the best spot for it because while I could probably put it higher, I could also probably have put it lower. I feel like 3 is the best spot to do it because it was really good. I had a lot of fun with it. I enjoyed pretty much all my time with it. And that was after I played the first 2, so I got to play it all in order really quickly. So, highly recommend it. I know that a few of our friends are playing it right now. Can't wait to do a spoiler cast with you, Jason. That's for sure.
I'm just happy you gave it another try and you did actually enjoy it.
Yes. I took all your personal insults to heart.
I bet this is warming Jason's heart to hear you say this.
Oh, it grew 3 times that big. I'm surprised I'm not having like a heart attack from it growing so much.
Oh, no.
So, Queen's Blood, is that like the Gwent of this game?
Kind
In a
of,
way.
yeah.
Okay.
I like, here's the thing. I'm the TCG guy, all right? I just didn't want to play it. I preferred Fort Condor so much more because it was more interactive and fun. And there's a really fun side quest tied to Fort Condor, which if you are a fan of Final Fantasy, you'll love it. No spoilers, but if you can, just find that like side quest right away.
There is more to do with Queen's Blood 2 at the end. If you do finish all the missions, there is some pretty cool stuff too. So
Is that your
Yeah,
way?
I haven't
telling you
played
to
this
play
yet.
more?
I'm
Jason?
waiting for the trilogy to be finished before I start it.
Yeah, same here.
You have to
No,
play
I'm-
Crisis Core. One thing I have to say, play Crisis Core. You have to play it. You can't skip it. Crisis Core is very important to this game. I'm dead serious. I played Remake first, and then I went right to Crisis Core. And after playing, like going from Crisis Core straight to this game, it made it so much better. Like legitimately, it made it so much better. And it was still fresh in my mind, and that's why the opening was so amazing and well done to me. Like you could play Remake first and then go to Crisis Core second. I highly recommend you do it in that order because it just made like me appreciate the opening of Rebirth so much more. And I think maybe for some people, like maybe that's why they didn't like it so much, is because they didn't play Crisis Core first before they played this, or they just never played Crisis Core at all.
Dude's on Rumble, he's agreeing with you, saying Crisis Core is great.
Yeah, and it's a short game. 12 hours max, I think.
It's not very long.
Yeah. In fact, it could be like insultingly easy. I beat like the final boss by just like casting fire like 5 times and he died. I was like, I win, guys.
Okay. So the Final Fantasy remake, I guess, is it going to be a trilogy or is it going to be more than that? Do we know?
Yes, it's a trilogy.
Okay,
Yeah,
so the third one will be the last one.
Yeah, they're trying to do like for what I've known and what I've heard, they're trying to do like the 3-disc thing like they did back in the PS1 days. So they're trying to do 3 separate parts. And then what the director and the writers, they said they just finished the script, I think now 2 weeks ago. So they're going to be starting hopefully very soon on putting that, into making a game. Hoping they don't go to UE5. I think what they have right now with 4, it looks great as it is. I hope they just continue doing that way. A, makes the game development just a little bit shorter, and B, UE5 right now has been kind of a little bit of a mess. So I'm hoping they just know what they're doing and just make UE4 look really, really nice and just put everything all together, and we'll have our game in the next hopefully 2 years.
I think that the game will be fine when they move over to UE5. I think a lot of devs know what they're doing now. I also think that a lot of issues that I've been seeing with UE5 are usually with people with kind of suspect PCs as well.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like that I'm not a disclaimer. I'm a PC Luddite. I had my fucking brother-in-law build my PC for me, who's a computer science major. So that's why everything works so well. It's special needs proof, as I like to say. But
I do like what Chad's going with.
Proof.
I do like how Chad's trying to figure out what the name of the game is going to be for the third one, because I see a reunion, which it won't be a reunion because we already got that one. But remake, rebirth, and reunion are all taken, so it's going to be very interesting to see what it's going to be called.
Reunion's taken?
Crisis Core.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Could be redo.
Redo.
I would love that. It'd be funny.
Restart.
That could also be it.
So, all right. You know what? Since we're on the topic of Unreal 5, I think I will go ahead and go with my number 3 next, because it is on Unreal Engine 5. And this is the one that I forgot to mention, and I had to pull an audible and put it on my list. And this is a game that Lois has been streaming a lot of lately. And this game, I didn't play a whole ton of it last year, but it did hit 1.0 release last year. I've spent more time playing it in December of 2023. But when it hit 1.0 in July, August, around there, I popped it in and, metaphorically, and put probably about another like 40 or 50 hours into it. And that is satisfactory. I love this game so much.
Yes.
I still have a lot to do in it, but it is just such a fun game. And it's just, you dropped onto this planet and told to build stuff, essentially. And you've got this is what your boss is essentially asking for. Hey, I need this many of these items. And then you can move on to the next, not tier. What are the smaller ones? Phases.
Oh, wait,
Wait.
the smaller ones?
Wait, are which ones are the smaller ones? Tiers or phases? No, the tiers are the smaller ones, because there's phase. There's I didn't even realize
phase 1 through 5, and then the tiers are each one that you unlock in each phase. Yeah,
because I didn't even realize it until I was watching Lois play it. Because I thought there was only 4 phases, and I was watching him play it, and he was like, "Oh no, there's a phase 5," but apparently phase 5 isn't as long as like phase 4, and that's where I've gotten to twice. Because when I played it, because I first bought it in the fall sale of 2023, and I spent basically all of the last 2 weeks of November, or all of December, and then like a week or two in January of playing Satisfactory. So I put like 100 hours into it over 6 weeks or so, and I got to phase 4, and phase 4 was going to be like twice as long as phases 1 through 3 combined. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put it on the back burner and come back to it later. And then it hit 1.0 release. So I started a new game and I got back to that point again. And I was like, just because phase 4 just gets massive, but each like phase 1 is like tiers 1 through 3, and then like phase 2 is like tiers 4 through 6. I forget the breakdown. Lois has probably played it more than I have now, so he could probably tell you more. But as you complete tiers, you unlock new things, and you can build more stuff and build better stuff. And you have to build your factories and automate them, so you're building all the parts you need, so you can build later on as you unlock more stuff. They require more and more of the lower end parts, so you have to go all over the map and build all these factories to feed you resources, and it's just great. And I love this game so much, and I can't believe that I almost forgot to put it on my list until we started the stream. So I have to get back to it, and I have a ton to do in this game. But it's just a great game that you could literally play forever.
Yeah, if you decide to play this game and plan on actually beating it,
I will at some point.
Yeah, but to anyone else who hasn't, expect to spend at least 200 hours, at the very least, on your first run.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I got 100 hours. My first 100 hours, I got to like phase 4, and then phase 4 was like bigger than the other ones put together. And that's why I was like, I need to put this on the back burner for now. I would have easily taken another 100 hours just to get through phase 4. Now there's a phase 5 as well. So it's I
think phase 5 was added in version 1.0.
Yes. That's
so
why I didn't know about it.
That, yeah.
But yeah, it's great and it's pretty. And I didn't know this. It originally wasn't on Unreal Engine, but in development, they switched it to Unreal Engine, and then they bumped it up to Unreal Engine 5. But I've only played it since, because it's been in early access for like 5 or 6 years. But it just hit early access 1.0 last summer. So I've only played it since it was on Unreal Engine 5. And like you had mentioned, one of you guys had mentioned like Unreal 5 games have a lot of problems. And that was one thing that Mark would say on Party Chat a lot, is a lot of Unreal Engine 5 games have troubles. That game, I never really had any troubles with it, despite it being so open-ended. And like, I don't have like a crazy powerful GPU, and I never really had any troubles running the game, because it's like there's no loading screens. It's just like this giant continent, and you can go anywhere at any time. And I never really had any slowdown. I never had any frame rate issues. I was like amazed at like how well it ran, like on a technical level.
Speaking of that, I actually didn't even know it was in Unreal 5.
There's a lot of games in Unreal 5. And it's kind of like I think it's like the verbal meme, where it's just people online just repeat a point. And I feel like there's enough people that kind of just make it like popular. Not saying that there isn't problems, but it's just...
I mean, I've had more problems with it than without it. So that's why, like, if I see something with 4, I'm like, okay, cool, it's going to be a little bit more stable. I'm not saying all 5 games are bad. I just know the games that I've played more in 5 are less stable than they were in 4, which, go figure, it's probably going to happen because you have more experience with 4 than you do with 5. Mm-hmm. So it's not me following a meme. It's just I know that's what it's been, because, again, it's a newer system that their people are trying to work with, and that's all about it.
I just haven't really seen any issues with any 5 game.
I can show you some.
I know, but personally speaking, it's just like
personally, I got you.
And Yanu is here. What's up, Yanu? And I haven't played Factorio, but they are very similar. Basically the difference is Factorio is kind of like a Command and Conquer type top-down view, whereas Satisfactory is all in first person, and that's why I like it.
We'll talk about Factorio in a bit, actually. Just
okay. I know a lot of people who love Factorio love Satisfactory and vice versa, but I've never actually played Factorio. I've just seen plenty of video of it.
Neo, what PC specs do you have, actually? I'm curious.
My GPU, I got a RTX 3050. I got 32 gigs of RAM. I don't know what DDR number it is, though. And I have a 12th gen i7.
Okay. So as you know, I've been streaming this game quite a lot.
Yeah.
with almost no issues. And I've had it crash on me a few times, but it seems to be like really random. So I don't think it's a specs issue. But I have a i7 6700K and a GTX 1070, and I'm
That's
running this
older,
game.
isn't it?
That's very old. It's a PC that I got back in 2016,
Okay.
and the parts are basically 2014, 2015
So
when they
it's
came out.
essentially a 10-year-old PC for the most part.
10-year-old PC. I'm playing on mostly medium low settings, but I'm playing it at when I stream it, I put it at 1600 by 900, and
Okay.
I'm still able to run it almost flawlessly, like 60 FPS. When I build a ton of stuff, the frame rate drops a bit, but not a lot, which is really shocking because there's so much stuff going on at one given time,
Yeah,
and it still runs like a dream. It's like a miracle how well this game runs,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
it deserves all the credit that it can get.
So if you like those type of, like Mike says, factory Minecraft, you like that sort of like open world building sort of thing, you'll probably like Satisfactory. And the reason why I
Yeah.
like it is I don't like Minecraft is because there's like not really any like objective. There's always an objective that you're aiming for in Satisfactory, which is one of the things that I like about it. Something
I've actually
to
never
give me to
played
shoot for.
Minecraft.
Same.
I've never played Minecraft. The main reason why is that it looks ugly as hell.
Agreed.
So if I feel like no matter what I try to like build in that game, I'm not gonna like it.
Yeah,
But I did
Satisfactory
play
is a very pretty game.
I did play a Dragon Quest Builders though, and that game by comparison actually looks really, really pretty actually. It's like a Dragon Quest themed Minecraft clone,
Mhm.
and it's super fun. But it plays kind of like an action JRPG as well. So pretty much anyone could probably find some enjoyment in that game.
All right. Well, Lois, why don't you head us into your number 3?
All right, my number 3 is actually more related to my number 4 because we had Zelda, and now we're going to talk about anime Zelda. So, have any of you guys familiar with the East series?
Oh, I know Carl
One that I'm
is...
starting this year.
Ah, okay.
Oh, it was Canadian. He just finished one.
Okay.
I think he played East Origin.
East Origin is my favorite in the series, actually. I love that game. I'm probably going to stream it at some point this year because I keep talking about it, but I'm not actually playing it. So I should probably do that. So this is East 10 Nordics, and it's the developer is Falcom. If you know anything about Falcom or any other games, they have series that have been going for quite a long time. This series has been around since I believe it's either the late 80s or early 90s is when the first one came out. And now we're on the 10th one. And I call it Anime Zelda because every single game features this main character, Adol, the red-haired guy. He's basically Anime Link because he's in every single game. He doesn't talk. He uses a sword. You know the drill.
Okay.
So this game, the later ones have gotten very, very story heavy. And that's actually one thing I don't like as much about it, because even though it's like a long continuous series, you meet all these characters, and then in the next games you never see them again because Adol is a traveling adventurer. He goes around the world and does a bunch of stuff in each of the different countries.
Okay, so it doesn't have the recurring characters like Zelda does.
Right. There is a few recurring characters, like Dogi is his main friend, and he travels with him all over the world. But besides that, there's very, very few that you see from one game to another. So all the time you spend getting to know the characters and listening to all their stories and stuff, it feels kind of pointless, but also kind of not, because it's part of the world building and all that. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it, but the main reason why I have this game higher than Zelda is because of the combat. The combat is just pure fun, and that's the most important thing about it, basically. So it's kind of like, you could kind of say it's similar to a DMC or Bayonetta or something like that, because you have your like magic dodge roll, and you can block attacks and cancel attacks like crazy. So
Okay,
that's a
so it's
short
not
fight. Let me skip to a better
doesn't have
fight
turn-based
sequence.
combat, so that's definitely a
Right, it's an action
one up in my
action
book.
combat. Yeah, so if you're not a fan of turn-based games, you could definitely give this one a shot. So there's also, this one is also has like ship combat. So you go into the ship and you can travel around and fight other ships. But the ship combat is kind of basic and very easy. Here's an example, I think.
Is this your gameplay that we're looking at?
Yeah, this is my stream.
Okay.
And I'm a big, I felt like I had to stream this one because I've gotten a lot of subscribers from the Legend of Heroes series, which is a series I make content on. And that's also another one of Falcom's long-running series that's been going since also the 80s, but mostly since like 2004. They have this long, continuous story with tons of recurring characters in each game. So I have a lot of my audience are Falcom fans.
Okay.
So whenever a new one comes out, I'm probably going to play it on the channel. But yeah.
I'm assuming this is another one in the franchise, but dude on Rumble is saying, I played Memories of Celceta?
Memories of Celceta, yeah.
Celceta
on the Vita, and it was fun.
Yep, I have that one too. I have the remake that they put out on PS4 in like 2020 or something like that. But yeah, that one's pretty fun too.
Yeah, Canadian is saying that he's planning on playing all the Yeast games this year. How many Yeast games are there?
So this is the 10th one, and then there's also Ys Origins, so technically 11.
There's also supposed to be another Nordic game, if I recall, too.
Oh yes. So they announced they announced a remake 2 years after this game came out in Japan, which I think is very weird. But it's also, if you play this game, it's kind of understandable because this game has a lot of issues. The graphics look like a PS2 game in a lot of areas.
Ooh.
They're really bad. The combat, even though it's fun, is extremely unbalanced in favor of you, the player, because the more stuff you unlock and the more abilities you get, the easier it gets. So they have some, if in this remake they got to fix a lot of stuff, but it's also stupid because, you know, it's only been 2 years. What are you doing making a remake after 2 years?
Yeah, what are you, Naughty Dog?
Exactly. But they don't normally do this, so this is kind of a first for them.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I've heard the Yeast name, but I knew literally nothing about it. I wouldn't even have known what it looked like if you had put a screenshot in front of me. So now I got an idea of what it looks like and how it plays.
I guess the Yeast versus Trials fighting game's coming out this year as well.
Yep, that was the one that came out on PSP a long time ago, and
Yeah.
I don't think it ever came out in the West.
They did not. Nope.
Yeah. Another thing to mention about pretty much all of Falcom's games is the music is awesome. Every single game they put out, they have amazing music. This game is no exception. I actually thought this was a step up from the previous two in terms of music. I don't know if that's a hot take or not for anyone who has played it, but I like the music in this game quite a lot.
Canadian, how was the music in Origins? Because I know he just played it.
Origins has my favorite soundtrack in the series.
Nice.
So never mind, we don't need to get into it. We'll be here all day. I have quite a bit of content focusing on game music as well.
All right, got another game music respecter.
Yes.
All right, well, whenever we do video game soundtracks part 2, we'll definitely have to have you on that one.
Yes. I will be there.
Yeah, he's saying it's addicting. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I just learned more about this franchise than I ever knew about it. So, yeah, I know Canadian. Yeah, he said he's going to be playing a bunch of them this year. So, all right. Well, I think that leaves us with Jason to finish off our number 3s.
Yeah, my number 3 is the sequel for a game that came out on the PS5 that actually won the Game of the Year, if you want to call it, last year. I enjoyed it a lot, but Astrobot's my number 3. I'm glad that Sony has another type of mascot that's actually kind of nice that I like to see what's going to go forward. Game was fun. It was a collectathon. Nothing crazy about it. Just a very fun, solid game to play. I know it's getting bad probably publicity because it got Game of the Year last year. I don't care. Games to me are how fun they are, and I had a blast playing the game. So can't wait to see what more comes from it. I know what we have DLC soon if it didn't come out already, but I think it comes out this year. So I can't wait to see what other extra levels they add and what other extra characters we can find from the PlayStation catalog to add to the group that I currently already have. So very easy, fun game to get into. Again, I'm glad that we finally have a mascot again in the Sony camp because, again, they haven't had one like this in a while. So.
Yeah, dude, saying Astrobot was his game of the year, but it was also the only game that came out last year that he played. Yeah, similar for me with Satisfactory being one of the only games that came out, officially at 1.0 that I actually played last year and played a good amount of, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm hoping. I don't know. This one seems like Astrobot might now be essentially the PlayStation mascot since.
I hope so, because like I said, he fits that mold really well. I mean, he's just a cute sea robot, and Sony's been trying to go for that robotish aesthetic for a while, it feels like to me. So yeah, I mean, and when Astro's Playroom came out, a lot of people were asking me like, man, why is he not the mascot? And now he's getting the push. So hopefully good things come from him, more games, and they're not, just cash grabs or just, actual fun games like this. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I really did enjoy this game too. I have no real bad things to say about it. The only gripe I still have about it is I wonder how this game would be received if it didn't have the member berries. I stand by that statement.
I can see that. I mean, like you said, with how everything adds up to it, that's why I think like it fits well. But yeah, I can take that as a criticism.
Yeah, like I said, it's nothing to slam against the devs. It just feels like how many people would have actually, bought this game, played this game, and spoke highly of it if it didn't have like the little jangling keys. I mean, the pack-in for the PS5 was really well done, and it kind of was like a lot of people basically said like this would be fun as a full game, and sure enough, it was really fun as a full game.
Right.
I did a spoiler cast with Zero. It was his favorite game of last year as well. I have really no real criticisms to say about this game. I just feel like it was fun. It did its job perfectly. It wasn't a $70 game. It was, I think, $50, if I'm correct.
I believe so. I can't remember.
It had a lot of love and detail to Sony history, and I did appreciate that. And I have no problem saying that, I recommend playing this for everyone too. I just don't think it was a Game of the Year contender. That's the only thing I like, me personally, and that's not a slight against the game. It's just I feel like there were so many better games that came out last year, and I just feel like I said before, I feel like it really played into nostalgia into a way where I would just not qualify it as the Game of the Year.
Yep, that's why again it's my number 3. I agree. There was a lot better of a game last year, in my opinion. So.
This was Sony saying, look at all of these dead franchises that we've neglected over the years.
Well, I wouldn't even say it's just Sony, though, because a lot of games in there were from Capcom, Square Enix,
Konami.
Konami as well. Like they had a really good mix of first party, but they also had a good mix of third party as well, like games that help build Sony.
Yeah, I don't have a PS5, but if I ever get one, I'll probably play this too.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is that I don't know if it will, since it seems to be kind of like their bread and butter right now. But basically, everything that's on PlayStation that I want to play has been coming to PC, and
Yeah.
so hopefully this does. And if it does, then I'll probably play it. But I don't know if this one will be coming to PC at all.
I know the dev, the like head of the studio or something, said that he would love to see it on PC as well.
Yeah, I believe this will make its way to Steam eventually.
I mean, if you look at, did you see the news before we started? They fired Herman Host or demoted him and promoted someone else as the new head of Sony. And I guess the guy who they put in charge has made statements about wanting to ramp up more PC ports than other stuff. I do think that
Something on that.
console exclusivity is pretty much going to be done by next gen.
Yeah.
Except for Nintendo.
Yeah,
They're the only
except for
ones I see.
Nintendo.
Is it this guy here?
Yes.
Hideaki Nishino?
Yes.
Yeah.
A dude saying that the Astrobot VR game has no member berries, and the new game got him to play that one.
The Astrobot game also was a VR game that made me sick. That's the only problem I have with that game. I just can't do VR. I get motion sickness horrible.
And then he mentions that the Sony execs right after Astrobot release saying that they don't have any IPs. It's like just like Kathleen Kennedy, we don't have source material to pull from. But yeah, that everything I've seen about Astrobot games looks like a lot of fun.
They're great. It's fun. Like I said, it's fun. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm not saying it's a terrible game. The devs did a really good job.
It has water slides. It's a 10 out of 10.
So, all right. Any last words on Astrobot?
They have Lama Jammy in that game, and that already makes it really good, in my opinion, for there.
I've heard that name. I don't know who that is, but that's okay.
Parappa the Rapper Universe.
Jason's favorite. Yeah, he's got it right there on the wall behind him. So, all right. Well, that'll bring us into our number twos. And Lois, why don't you start us off with number twos?
All right. Well, like I said earlier, we would talk about this game in a bit. So let's get into the tism. Let's get into it.
Ooh.
Number 2 is Factorio. Because this is the only one that I included that is not a 2024 game.
Oh, okay.
So I played this game a lot in the fall. So here's an example of my little factory, I guess. This is from my stream. So basically this game is very similar premise to Satisfactory. You crash land on a planet and then you have to build all this stuff to be able to create a rocket to send into space. That's the main goal of the game. Okay. And throughout that, you'll also have to fight off a ton of aliens. I wonder if I have any clips of that, actually, because that's the one thing that sets this game apart, actually, is it's also a tower defense game. So you have turrets, you have tanks, you have machine guns, you have rocket launchers, you have all that stuff, flamethrowers, and you can use that to defend your little factory colony.
That's like the main thing that I like about Satisfactory is the combat is very, very minimal.
Yeah, and it's in Satisfactory. Once you get to a certain point, the combat's like optional. But in this game, the aliens will encroach on your territory but in this one, you can also like customize your game so you can actually turn combat off entirely.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, or you can I don't know if you can turn it off entirely, but you can like reduce the amount of aliens to that so that there's basically not even a threat. So this game, Yeah, that's an example of me fighting a alien nest and burning it to the ground, basically. It plays, if you've ever played games back in the day in like the 90s and early 2000s on PC, it feels like oh, that was me setting off a nuke and killing myself. Um, so if you ever played like RTS games back in like the 90s, the graphics are very reminiscent of that.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like an old Heroes of Might and Magic.
Yeah, or like a Command and Conquer or something.
Yeah.
For me, I was a big fan of Age of Empires back in the day, so this kind of
you're
scratched
talking
that.
Carl's language.
Yeah, this game scratches that itch, definitely. So if you like stuff like that, you probably like this. And it definitely felt like I was back playing a good old game from that era. And here's me setting off some more nukes. This is very late game too. It takes you about first playthrough. When you launch the rocket into space, that is what the game considers being beat.
Okay.
So once you doing that takes about on your first playthrough, it'll probably take you about 100 hours just because you're like learning everything. And I just blew myself up again.
I'm assuming it's not permadeath, and you don't have to start over when you die.
No, it basically
that'd be brutal.
It auto saves like every 5 minutes or something like that. I forgot what I was saying before, but
launching the rocket takes about 100 hours on your first try.
Yeah, launching the rocket takes about 100 hours. So if it's not as much of a time commitment as Satisfactory is, like for me, beating Satisfactory took 300 hours compared to this one, which only took like 100.
So, okay. I was going to ask you, you did finish phase 5, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So I still need to get back to it and do that. But this Factorio, though, has been around for a while. Do you know when that originally came out?
I want to say 2014, but I could be wrong. It's somewhere around there. This one is also mainly worked on by one guy.
That's right.
And he's been doing it for like way over a decade. And actually, they just released an expansion in 2024, which is what gave me like the final push to finally try it, because I kept like hearing about it and hearing about how good this game was. So I finally gave it a try last year, which is why it's on the list for this stream.
Okay. Yeah, I've got it on Steam. It says release date 2020, but I swear it's way older than that.
I'm assuming it was in early access for a while.
Oh, that's probably what it was. Because I like know people who've been playing this for like a decade.
Yeah.
So, shoot, there was something else I was going to ask you about it. But you've since, you said you've beaten it by launching the rocket. It's like Satisfactory though, where you can just keep playing it forever if you wanted to, though, right? And just keep building stuff.
So another thing with this game, the maps are completely randomly generated. Unlike Satisfactory just has the one map with tons of little various regions and stuff. Yeah, this game is completely randomly generated, and you can customize the map to generate like what kind of biome you want at the start. So actually, let me see if I can pull up the start of the game, because there is a ton more customization in this game than Satisfactory has. So
Satisfactory don't really customize anything. You just start and the map is static. It's the same every time.
Exactly. Let me see if I can pull that up. Here we go. Yeah, so like when you first start the game, you have a map generator, and you can customize the various parameters and how much of each resource there are, how much of each of the aliens there are, how much water there is, all that stuff.
Oh, okay. So you can really tailor your experience.
Yep. And I believe this game also has like co-op and stuff, just like Satisfactory does.
Oh, I had it up here a second ago. Factorio. Oh, wow. It's more than I thought it would be. It's 35. It does have a demo, so I just added that to my library. So I'll check out the demo sometime.
Oh yeah, this game almost never goes down in price. The guy basically says, "Hey, I'm gonna keep working on this game. You're gonna get your money's worth. So I'm not gonna do any sales or anything."
Okay.
And he's correct, but I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, it's overwhelmingly positive on all reviews. Got 166,000 reviews.
Yep, and he
So-
seems like he really like based guy too. One of his famous quotes from back in the day is, "Take this cancel culture mentality and shove it up your ass," when people were like questioning him about stupid shit.
I love it. So, and Pop Culture Mechanics in chat saying, "Evening, gentlemen. What's up, Pop Culture? Good to see you, buddy."
Hey there, Pop. He finally got my Christmas card I sent him. Just in time for I was gonna say Thanksgiving.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
So, cool. Yeah, I know I probably like this game, but I've got so many. I got Satisfactory to beat first, and I got so many other games to play. Oh, in this genre, do you know about Dyson Sphere Project?
I've heard of it, but I haven't played it. I'm actually new to this genre still because I just got Factorio was my first one,
Okay.
and that was back in fall.
So, so you did this even before you did Satisfactory?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if I hadn't played this, I probably wouldn't have played Satisfactory, actually.
Ah, okay. Cool. Well, yeah, if you like this genre, check out Dyson Sphere Project or program. I forget what the P stands for, but that's another one that I'm going to look into, and I will probably play at some point.
I think it's already on my wish list.
It was on
It
Game
is.
Pass, but it left. But it's another time consuming one, but it's basically like this, and you farm resources from multiple planets to build giant space projects.
Yep, I will probably love this.
So cool. Oh,
Need to find another several hundred hours to set aside, you know.
Exactly. That's the problem. Too many games and not enough time. So, all right. Carl, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is kind of like in the same vein of Astrobot, but a different type of crossover event, and that is Project Cross Zone 2 for the 3DS.
I know you've mentioned that one a few times lately.
Yeah, I first time I played that was last year. The year prior, I played the first Project Cross Zone. Very interesting game to say the least. Story makes no sense and anything else like that. But this is where I think I first found out about our friend that Jason was showed us with our favorite commercials last year. Sega Santiro is his name, right?
Yes, Sanchiro.
Santiro.
That guy was
He's
hilarious.
That guy is actually a character in this game, and it was one of the levels titles is Play More Saturn. Kind of like the same feeling as Astrobot, except on a much lesser scale. It is a turn-based tactical JRPG, and it is just a fun collaboration between Sega, Bandai Namco, Nintendo, and Capcom. And it's just a alternate universe kind of game where everyone kind of like plays together and like forms these like weird combos and everything else. It's like a turn-based fighting kind of game where you have to mash your combos and do everything right. You fight against all the big villains that probably everyone likes, like, Nemesis and other deep characters. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head.
Yeah, they're all there.
But like you get to play with funny Resident Evil combos. You can play with one of the add-ins that I really loved from the first one and the second one was they actually have .hack characters in there as well. Learned about a lot of different franchises from these different companies. Another thing too that I really did enjoy was the music. They really did a good job capturing the music for each character, and they even have like the nice fun small levels, and it just feels like there's just a lot of heart and fun to it, kind of like with Astrobot, but it's just like you get to see the characters interact more. So like what you see on the screen is actually the first one, I believe. I don't remember. I don't think this is no, wait, it's the second one.
It was like, gosh, that combo was ridiculously over the top. That looked awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's one of the fun things, and one of the bad things about it is like you like a combo can last forever sometimes.
So
You
are
were-
those combos basically what you do instead of just like them auto attacking, or how does that work?
Yeah, you want to kind of like juggle like an enemy as best as you can. So that's kind of like when I say like it's kind of like a fighting game in a little bit of aspects there too. You have to like do like the corresponding combo moves, and you want to try to juggle your opponent for as long as you can. In the first one, it's a lot longer. In the second one, they kind of toned it down so you couldn't keep the combo going as long as you could before. But if you want like a good trip down like remembering IPs or something like that, or even trying to discover new ones. Funny enough, Jason, when I was at Galloping Ghost, I found one of the Bandai Namco characters was an arcade game that was only released in Japan.
They have those hard to find games. Yeah, there's I think there's like 7 or 8 games that are A prototypes or B only found in Japan that are there. There might be even more now.
Yeah, this one was an old one too because the character. Let me bring this up real quick. In question, her name is Valkyrie. So I've never seen this character in my life. I couldn't even find anything about her, only to find out that I think it was like a NES only kind of game and a Japan only kind of game. Well, Famicom, I guess you would say. It would be. So when I was walking through Galloping Ghost and I just see this character, I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I know this one. So I actually got to experience it all. A lot of interesting franchises I found in there that I actually have given a try to. One of them is God Eater. God Eater was a game I checked out. And also Sakura Wars. That's what I also checked out from it as well. Sega. Go on.
No, it's just very nice. Like I said, that's what's so nice about like games like this when you get them all together and you can be like, oh, what's this character? This character is kind of cool, especially when they're just going with them, and then you can find new franchises that you could have known about a long time ago, but you're like, oh wow, these characters are actually cool. Why aren't these so more prevalent? Next thing you're like, oh, that's why, and then you look up on it more and find the games, and then you end up enjoying the other IP, let alone just the the crossover tag event that you get.
Yeah, this is a fun, interesting piece of gaming history that I recommend everyone to check out. The first one and the second one, they're not super expensive, so even after the store closed, I'd say go and get them as best you can because I think they're worth playing just for a game preservation and history standpoint. I know that these weren't exactly the highest selling games, but yeah, I would love to see this game come back in some way, shape, or form, especially now with so many different characters that they could add. And the second one, you add Phoenix Wright and you add, Kiryu and Majima, and it's already game of the year for me.
Yeah, I want them to come out with another one as well, but I also want them because they do all the, they take RPGs and they make fighting games. I would absolutely love a Project Cross Zone fighting game. I mean,
that'd be great.
That to me would just be the craziest crossover event of all time.
Due to saying that Sagata Sanshiro is the only match for Chuck Norris.
Oh no, he's no match. He's way better than Chuck Norris.
If you are a fan of that commercial series, then you have to play this because they give him so much lore and depth with all the Sega franchises in this game. It is by far some of the funniest dialogue in there. He's literally just there. That's the best part about him. His character just shows up and he's friends with every Sega IP. They all know him. And they're like, how do you know these people? They're 5,000 years into the future. And they're like, everyone knows him. They just say this, everyone knows it. And they just play it off. It's a really good running gag.
I don't think we talked about it 2 weeks ago when we were doing our or event of last year, but showing you guys a lot of those commercials was one of my favorite things, especially because finding out that you didn't know some of them existed or you knew some of it and all that stuff, but you got to see the whole lore of them.
That
was fun.
That was great.
I liked all the commercials that we talked about. It was just fun seeing not only the memory lane for a lot of them, but just the wacky Japanese commercials, especially showing Neo all the Japanese commercials where he's like, I don't even know anything about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And this was on 3DS?
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yep, I would never have heard of this game wasn't for you guys. So, all right.
Lois, did you have a question that you wanted to ask? I feel like we cut you off.
Oh, when you mentioned Valkyrie, I believe if it's the one I'm thinking of, I think she had a sort of cameo in Soul Calibur 2 and 3 as like an alt costume. That would have been the first time that I saw it.
Maybe.
It's the same one I'm thinking of.
I mean, it's very, very possible. She does have a shield and a sword, so it could be very possible.
Yeah, it was a Cassandra's
third
costume, unlockable one, I believe. It's so weird because Soul Calibur 3 also had Cosmos from Xenosaga as like an alt costume in there.
Bandai Namco property as well.
Yeah. So that was like what introduced me to that series as well.
Yeah, and Mike is asking, is it Project X Zone? Just pronounced cross?
It's pronounced cross zone.
Yeah.
That's how the Japanese say it because it's not an X, remember, for your PlayStation controller. It's a cross button.
Oh, if you say so.
That's what they say. That's their official lore.
That's exactly true. It is exactly true.
It's Bible accurate PlayStation, all right?
I'm not seeing the color for Soul Calibur, but I know her final weapon set was called Valkyrie, so I would be shocked if they didn't have a color to go with the sword and shield.
Yeah, her color is like green and orangish colors.
Yeah.
Which is like the winged helmet.
Yeah. Like, it wouldn't shock me at all if they put her in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been shocked either.
But, like, even still, the reference would have been lost on me even as a child because Soul Calibur 3 was one of my favorite ones. So that would have just,
Soul
like...
Calibur 3 is my favorite, too.
That would have just sailed right over my head and out of the park, and I'd just been like, I have no idea what I'm looking at here.
Speaking of crossovers, Dude is saying that he wished that there was more crossovers with the Warriors Orochi games because I guess Warriors Orochi's 3 had Ninja Gaiden, Dead or Alive, and Soul Calibur characters.
And Mike, yeah, it did have Fire Emblem characters in there, and it also had Xenoblade characters in there as well. Well, it was also developed by Monolith Software as well. The people who also made, Xenosaga and Xenoblade. Which is funny. It's like really funny to think about that.
So, and Forking Around is in chat saying hello. What's up, Forking Around? Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well tonight. So, all right, Jason, you want to go next? You want me to go next?
I can go next.
Right.
Yeah, my number 2 is probably the game I had the most fun playing, I should say. Like the game that I keep going back to. Every probably once to twice every week just to get better at. And that's going to be Tekken 8. I've always been a fan of the Tekken franchise, but this one was like the one that I was like, oh, I want to get good at this. I have a lot of fun playing it. I can't wait to see what more other DLC characters come out. I know we got Clive, and that wasn't the Final Fantasy character I wanted, but it's cool to see him in the game. I'm still waiting for, a certain punchy girl to come into the game because that would just be the best ever. But other than that, like a lot of the characters that are in the game, it's very offensive based. So you don't need to learn, obviously, some of the old school techniques of how to play defense. It helps, obviously, but the more pressure you know how to add on to things. And the game has everything that you are looking to get better at games. If you are trying to learn the frame data, there's practice modes that show you how to do it. There's ways that you can record your matches against people online and watch them and be like, oh, that's where I screwed up. Oh, okay, that's what I could have done to be better. There's so many things in the game that just, if you're looking to get better at a 3D fighting game, this is like the game to play. The music's great, especially when they added the Tekken jukebox that has all the music, and you can just customize every stage that you want to. So if you're like, man, I wasn't a big fan of this track on Tekken 8, get it out of there and put one that you do like in there. So I mean, there's, for any fan of Tekken that hasn't played this one yet, please do. I don't know why you're not. I know it's one of those games too that, again, if this is all you play, I know a lot of the pros are like, okay, it's Tekken 8, whatever. Yeah, you're gonna get that way because it's the only game you're playing. Obviously, if you break your other fighting games up, you're gonna like it. But again, this game has everything that I wanted in a Tekken. It looks nice. Plays great. And it's actually one of the games that I'm actually learning how to play without a joystick and with the actual buttons and all that kind of stuff, which is like it's my snack box, which is weird. It's like learning a new language to me. But yeah, it's great. Customization is great. It's a very fun game, and my favorite fighting game of last year by far.
It looks pretty epic, and it looks very pretty.
Yes, very much so.
So the Final Fantasy character that you were hoping for, who was that?
I'm hoping for Tifa because she would fit absolutely perfect. She's a punchy girl. She kicks. She does somersaults. She does all this kind of stuff, and it will fit this game absolutely perfect.
Okay, because you're saying it would be hilarious if Zell got into Tekken before Tifa.
I would cry.
I have no idea who Zell is, but
Zell was the punchy guy from 8.
Okay.
The tattoo face punchy guy from Final Fantasy 8. But yeah, no, this game is great. If you're looking to try to find a 3D fighting game to play, this is one that it does go on sale every once in a while. Especially I know for sure it'll go on sale late July, early August, because that's when Evo has all their fighting games go on sale. So if it's a game you're like, man, I really want to get into this, and you don't want to pay the full price, wait till later. Obviously, the game's going to be more expensive if you want all the characters, because again, it's how the company's going to make the money with all the extra characters, all the extra costumes. But again, if you're looking at the base game, get that, and then just get a character that you want later on down the line. And then, yes, 23 Mike, yeah, Tifa is my dream character for this game, absolutely.
Tifa, huh?
I would love Tifa in this game. Absolutely, would love Tifa in this game.
Well, we got Yoshimitsu. That's all I care about.
So yeah, I would love to have Tifa get his ass just destroyed by Tifa.
Yeah,
I'm not shocked.
Somersault.
I'm not shocked that you picked a fighting game to make your list.
I mean, yes and no. Sometimes fighting games don't make my top 5 for games that I played, but like this is one game that when I'm not playing it, I'm thinking about playing it.
That's good.
Yeah, I know almost nothing about Tekken. It's probably the major fighting game franchise I know the least about. Like I could name most of the Street Fighter characters, most of the Mortal Kombat characters. I don't know anybody in Tekken.
Yeah, you do. You know the leopard-headed guy.
King. I know that one.
There you go. So you lied. So we've caught you in 4K.
Well, other than that, the only one that I could name are because I'm watching them on
staring
screen
at it down the
I
bottom.
wouldn't have. And even if you ask me in 5 minutes who's this, I probably wouldn't know.
I mean, I can get you to name one if you just name a bear. There you go.
Yeah, Panda. You know who Panda is.
I would have been able to just get it by coincidentally guessing.
Everyone loves Panda. Everyone loves Kuma.
But yeah, it does look like a pretty dope fighting game.
Yes.
So, Forkin says, "Oh yeah, I want Tifa because she'll be a good fit too." So, all right, yeah, I don't have much to say about it since I don't do fighting games. But
that's who that girl. Where that girl's from?
Melissa.
Yeah, she's one of the villains in Project X.
She is.
I didn't know where she was from, so now that makes sense now too. Look at that,
yeah,
Lordy.
it's weird to see a chainsaw armed lady robot in a Tekken game. Trust me, I blame Jack for that because he's started all that stuff. But yeah,
That guy looks cool.
I played Tekken Advance
nice.
a few times.
Is
That's
that
about it.
on Game Boy Advance?
Yeah, it's really bad.
I didn't even know there was a Tekken game on Game Boy Advance.
Sounds like quitter talk.
So, all
Or
right.
I'm absolutely a quitter.
So, all right. Well, that brings it to me for rounding out our number twos before we head into our honorable mentions. And for me, this was a long time coming because it is the most recent game in, I believe it was my number 2 favorite game franchise of all time. And, the genre that I talk about all the time, we talked about many times just tonight. And I finally got around last year to finally playing Metroid Dread for the first time. And I liked it a lot.
There you go.
I probably would have been number 1 if it wasn't for the Emmy sections. That was my biggest complaint of the game. I was not a fan of the Emmy sections. And it was mainly the ones at the very end. The last 2, I want to say the last 2, maybe 3 Emmy sections were annoying as crap because you literally couldn't go anywhere without Emmy knowing exactly where you were the entire time you were in the Emmy section. It's so some of those sections I had to do like over and over and over again. It was really annoying. But other than that, everything else I thought about the game was freaking fantastic. It is a beautiful game. So smooth. I loved it. It was great. And if I've heard a few people talk about this, and I don't know if I got it from other people or I doubt I was the first one to have this idea. But I maybe got planted in me subconsciously by someone else. But I don't remember having anyone give me this idea. But if they did, that's fine. But if you took Metroid Dread and put that coat of paint on Super Metroid, oh my God, that would be like the most divine remake of like all time. That would be phenomenal. But yeah, Metroid Dread was great. I loved it a lot. The Emmy sections were just like my one complaint with it. So that's the main reason why it's not number 1. So Lois, you had a bit of a grunt there. What did you have some input on that?
Oh no, I'm just kind of a purist when it comes to Super Metroid. That's all.
Okay.
But I did play Dread back when it came out. I agree with you. The Emmy sections were mostly just annoying rather than like scary or.
They definitely were at the beginning. But yeah, towards the end it got really annoying. Canadian saying, "Get good, Curious Neo." I beat it and I got 100%.
I don't think it was that scary even at the beginning either, though, because they kind of like spoiled it with all the promo material. In my opinion, I think so. The impact wasn't there when I played it.
Okay. I remember plenty of times you'd be like, "Oh crap! Oh crap! Oh crap! Oh crap! Oh crap! It's gonna get me! It's gonna get me!" And there was one time I remember I felt like super awesome because I got trapped and I was able to counter it. And
yeah,
I got
absolutely.
trapped again, and I countered it twice in a row. I felt like a badass, but then I couldn't figure out where I was supposed to go, and he got me on the 3rd time. But it was pretty awesome to have countered it twice in a row because that timing is like you have like
it's
split
so
second.
quick. And sometimes you're for sure you hit it, and you're like, why didn't I get out of this when I hit it at the same time?
I noticed that it changes. Like it's not always like the animation time isn't always the same. So sometimes it's a little bit longer, sometimes a little bit shorter to
it's that flash.
Throw you off. So you can't just like memorize the time. You got to be quick with the reflexes.
Right.
I'm not really a big fan of the whole counter parrying mechanic in this series.
I think the Emmys was really the only time I really used it. I probably should have used it more.
I didn't use it much against any other bosses or anything either.
Yeah, same. Which probably could have helped because, or I started playing through it on hard, and it's really hard on hard.
Oh, hard is silly. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And I've only played probably like 2 hours of it on hard mode, so I haven't gotten that far. But and
I only played it once.
It's been really discouraging because you die so easily, and I think you really need to get good at the countering because that's how you get more health back. But yeah, it's really pretty. It plays so smooth, and there was some introduction of some really great new abilities that not only have we not seen in other Metroid games, just haven't seen in really any other Metroidvania games. So it's always nice to see some new abilities in Metroidvania games. So yeah, Canadian saying he had the same experience, and the counter is very fluid in Dread versus Samus Returns. Yeah, I haven't played Samus Returns, so I wouldn't know.
This is also a very short game, if I recall correctly, right?
It's not super long. I mean, it's a Metroid like long game, if that makes sense.
I think I beat it in probably. I think my game clock was maybe like 10 or so hours, 12 or so hours on beating it, and then I think I spent another 2-3 hours wrapping up all the missing collectibles to get to 100%. So yeah, it's not terribly long.
Yeah, it's probably the longest 2D Metroid game, but
yeah,
that's not saying much really.
I would agree with that.
Compared to like Metroid Prime games usually last you way longer because they're the 3D ones.
Yeah,
a lot more exploration and stuff.
Canadian saying, bro, hard mode is a cakewalk.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, and dude's saying that he's waiting for a retro achievement set on Dread before playing it on hard. That probably will be when I eventually get around to beating it on hard as well, as when it gets retro achievements, and that'll probably be a while since we got a couple generations to go till we get to Switch.
Yeah, I just think it's funny.
So, yeah, Metroid Dread was my number 2. So, any last thoughts on Dread before we go into our honorable mentions?
I like this type of Samus armor the most.
The base armor right there, or just
the color scheme. I like it more than the orange.
Okay. To each their own. But yeah. All right. With that, we'll go ahead and get into our honorable mentions before we get on to our number 1s. So, Carl, do you want to start us off with your honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions, I'll just say the ones that I mentioned on my year-end review. Unicorn Overlord, one of my favorite games, was my game of the year last year. Very fun game by Vanillaware and published by Atlas. Turn-based RTS auto chess kind of game. Really fun, not breaking the bank story, but highly recommended for everyone to check out. Really fun collector's edition. Came with a little card game built inside of it. Really did enjoy it. I suggest everyone check that out. Another game, which was my favorite backlog game of last year too, was Slay the Princess. Absolutely one of my favorite games I streamed last year. And I gave it plenty of love on your shows last year as well. I think it was on my spooky games list too, one of my top 5 ones.
Okay.
Very well written, very interesting, very creepy, funny, all sorts of games. Highly recommended. I actually got that studio's other game gifted to me for Christmas. It's called Scarlet. Oh, jeez. Scarlet Hollow.
Oh.
Yeah, Scarlet Hollow is their other game. The studio is called Black Tabby Games. Yeah, if you are into visual novels that have like multiple branching paths and different outcomes in that, I think on Steam Achievements it has over 100 Steam Achievements to get to complete it. I know it came to Xbox. I know it came to PlayStation and Switch last year as well in the Pristine Edition. So it's on everything. Like I said, I think a full run you can do. I believe my playthrough is like 5 hours, if I recall correctly. So you can do one full run. It's a roguelike visual novel. That's the best way to describe it. So I was absolutely interested in at the first time I saw the trailer, and it hit all my expectations. Really did love it. Go check that game out. I know it's not that expensive. It goes on sale quite a lot. So if you're looking for something interesting and new to play, just give it a chance. Even if you're not a visual novel fan, just give it a chance. I guarantee you'll probably like this one.
What was the name again?
Slay the Princess.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's where that the if you could scroll back a picture, Lois, that has been on your avatar lately, hasn't it? Or your
Yeah, my
wallpaper,
background.
Carl. That okay? I didn't realize that's what it was from. Was from Slay the Princess.
Yeah, great game. Actually, the only time I ever went back and listened to a YouTube video of mine was to listen to a playthrough of this again, because I really did enjoy that story. Another game too, honorable mention, was definitely Metaphor ReFantazio, the new Atlas JRPG that came out last year. Haven't beaten it yet because I'm kind of getting my teeth kicked in. Really do like that game a lot. I recommend it to everyone as well if you're like interested in a hardcore JRPG that isn't, like Persona in high school or some weird ditzy stuff. But if you want like a challenging, really good, interesting JRPG that like tests your ideas and your morals and your values and just your beliefs, that kind of puts it out there in a good way, I really do recommend this game, just because it's got a very interesting story and a very interesting plot. I think a couple people on both the left and the right tried to hijack this game in a little bit of a sense of the word of hijacking, but I'd say ignore all that noise. Just go into it and play it. It is well written, interesting, and fun. You'll love all the cast of characters. And like I said, if you focus more on gameplay than you do on overall, romance and stuff like that, this is the game for you. And it takes a lot of inspiration from English art as well. A lot of the bosses in this game are actually based off of like real paintings from medieval artwork and everything too. And one more honorable mention, I'd be bereft to say this, my favorite indie game of last year that after I installed it into my Xbox, I lost 3 hours and said, oh yeah, this is it. Balatro. Got to give my roses to Balatro. Kind of like Dave the Diver. Last year, I think a lot of people started playing Balatro, and then all of a sudden, it's like the Danny DeVito meme. It's like, I get it. So, highly recommend this. Really do love it. And it's also in Dave the Diver, too, ironically speaking. So, there you go. If you like Dave the Diver and you like Balatro, two of my favorite indie games, darlings, right there. Go for it. They're not that expensive. They're usually on sale for like $20, and they go on sale quite often, both of them. So that's my honorable mention list. Just those four.
All right. Lois, what about you? Do you have any honorable mentions?
Yes, I have quite a bit. I'll try to keep it kind of short for each one though. So the first one I have three more that came out in 2024. And they're all weird in some way or another. The first one is BlazBlue Entropy Effect. This is a spin-off. It's allegedly a spin-off of BlazBlue, but it seems like the story has nothing to do with BlazBlue at all and just uses the characters as kind of like a thing in this own original story. But I also don't know the story of BlazBlue, so I could be completely wrong on that. It's basically, they take the BlazBlue characters, which is a fighting game, they put them into this 2D action roguelite game instead. So you go through and you get abilities and do combos and stuff. And try not to die, which you probably will a lot because it's a roguelite. The second honorable mention, or if you guys want to say anything on that before I move on.
No, you answered my question. I was going to say, I know BlazBlue is a fighting game, so I was just wondering if this was also a fighting game, but it's fighting-ish, it sounds like.
Yeah, I play cross tag every once in a while, so I just know some of the characters.
I think some of the mechanics may have translated over to this, but I'm not sure because I've never played BlazBlue before. But the next one is a game that's probably pretty bad. It's called Plushie from the Sky. And it may be an asset flip game, but I still enjoyed it because it's
That's what
goofy
this
as
is
hell.
about.
See if I can pull it up here. I streamed it too, so
Hmm.
basically you play as this little girl in a dream world, and she uses a plushie to beat the crap out of everyone and shoot stuff, and you can dodge roll infinity times in midair, and there's chaos and explosions all over the place, and it's just a complete chaotic clusterfuck, and that's why I liked it, despite how bad it actually is. Yeah,
And what was that one called?
Plushie from the Sky.
Plushie from the Sky. Yeah, definitely have not heard of that one.
And then the next one from 2024, let me just pull it up real quick, is, where is it? I think I played it earlier. Yep, here we go. It is Princess Peach Showtime. And this game is adorable, but also kind of mid. This game has a lot of performance issues. It's pathetically easy, obviously, as you'd expect, but it's still enjoyable. The only thing that really stuck out to me is that there are, besides Princess Peach and the toads you see in the beginning, there's no other references to Mario at all. So it's kind of weird in that regard. And I don't know if any of you have played Super Princess Peach on the DS, but that game is very much a Mario game, just with Princess Peach and tons of the same enemies, and you even fight Bowser at the end, but not in this one.
Yeah, this was an interesting game last year. I played this. It had horrible performance, though.
Yeah, it's bad. I don't think it goes above 30 FPS ever.
I think it's even generous to say it goes above 20.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
This game was fun. If it had a better frame rate, I think it's cute. Very adorable concept behind it. Good family game. There's only one thing I wish they would do: make amiibos. They're wasting money, not not making amiibos of all the Princess Peach outfits.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good idea. I'm surprised they didn't do that.
I'm surprised they haven't done anything. Yeah.
This was my favorite one, was the Baker.
Yeah, Baker Peach, she's great.
She's so adorable. I love her.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun costumes that they put on her too, like Kung Fu Master or Sword Master Peach.
Yep.
Like I did enjoy this game a lot. I just like I said, getting above 20 FPS has been such an issue.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to do that for the Switch too, like release performance patches for a lot of the games. They really should.
Rumor has it, yes, but rumor also has everything. So you never
Yeah,
know.
pretty much. Like the Smash 6 rumors that have come out recently, those are all fake. Just saying.
I
have
heard
a
any Smash rumors.
I have a few more honorable mentions if you want me to do that.
All right.
What game do you think he's working on though? If it's not Smash.
Oh, I have no idea.
Tekken 9.
They keep that stuff so tightly
Well,
wrapped. There's
no,
no
I'm just
point in even
asking.
trying.
Yeah, I'm just asking. Like, what game do you think he would be, or like, what game besides Smash would you hope it is?
Would I hope?
Yeah. Doesn't
I've
have to
never
be.
thought about it.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, it doesn't have to be something that is for sure going to happen. Just be like, man, he's working on a game. Man, what would be cool if it would be like so? If you don't have one, it's no big deal.
Well, I have some. We don't need to get into this now, but I have some ideas on what they should do for the next Smash, which mostly is just like an upgraded version of Ultimate, because it's like the best one, and it has the most characters, and they could just keep adding on to that, and nobody would complain.
You can keep going on that one. I'm sure a certain someone from a Melee channel will hear you keep speaking that and understanding where I come from.
All right, so the next three honorable mentions would probably be like the best.
But a couple people say
Um,
that they hope they're working on Kid Icarus.
That'd be an interesting one.
I would like that. That was actually my favorite NES game. So I liked seeing that come back on the 3DS, but
Mhm.
well, I have issues with that too. We don't need to get into it. So the next honorable mention is Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights.
One I've
Which
played.
Yes, this is a very, very good Metroidvania. Probably one of the best I've ever played.
Hmm.
I don't remember what the story is about. I just know that you play as this like ghostly little girl, and she has like these crazy supernatural superpowers and summoning powers and stuff like that.
And I don't know about on other platforms, but the sequel, Ender Magnolia, just released on Xbox this week.
Yep.
Yes, it just came out of early access on PC too. So that I'm going to be playing that this year probably. Yeah. So that one, I played a bunch of all the Metroidvanias I played, which I started doing a bunch of them this in 2024 because I had the idea of, hey, I want to make this top 20 Metroidvania video, and now I kind of don't want to because it's a lot of work. I have so many to get. There's so many to get through that you can't beat them all. They keep adding more like every single day.
Yep.
So there's just too many. Next one was, where is it? Should be around here somewhere. After Image, right
I was
here.
going to say, I had a feeling you were going to After Image. That's one that one that I've heard lots of great things from my Metroidvania buddies. I have it, and I have not played it yet.
Yes, this is also another one I consider like one of the best Metroidvanias ever made.
I've heard lots of good stuff.
One thing I forgot to mention is that in Ender Lilies and in this game, the combat is kind of Souls-like inspired.
Mm-hmm.
So they're really difficult in some parts. Especially this one. This game is really difficult. There are some really difficult bosses in there. And I infamously spent like an hour just retrying one boss over and over and over again on stream because I was actually under leveled at the time, and I was trying to beat it anyway, and I just couldn't do it. And then I found out that once I beat it, there's a phase 2.
Oh damn!
And they're like, I'm gonna come back later.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, this one's really fun. It's also I think this is the largest Metroidvania that I've ever played. It might even be like the largest ever.
I don't know if it's the largest, but all of my Metroid buddies are like, it's a very large game.
Yeah, and this one, there's a lack of direction in this one too. So you're actually meant to like explore on your own and figure everything out. And that's actually what I liked about it. You just go around and explore, and you'll eventually find what you're supposed to do. But it takes a long time. The only like sort of pointer you have is, hey, there's something way over here in the distance that you're supposed to get to. And it seems like there's multiple ways to get there. So it's really good. I recommend it. And then there's one more. Actually, I have 2 more Metroidvanias I'd like to talk about, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
More Metroidvanias.
By all means.
Don't twist my arm or anything.
Yeah, probably the most unique one that I played is
Custodian there.
My freaking scroll wheel is broken, so that's why this is.
Oh, Night Witch.
Task.
Oh, Laika.
Laika H through Blood. Yes, this is definitely the most unique Metroidvania I've ever played. So you're on a motorcycle or dirt bike the entire time, and you have guns.
Yeah, and it's a like one-hit kill, and you have to do like tricks and stuff to reload your gun.
Yep, you do.
So you end up dying a lot, but yeah, my buddy's like, this is a very interesting game. I don't own it yet, but I will be buying it at some point. I think it's on Xbox right now. It's currently like 40% off.
Yeah, I believe you do a backflip to reload, and then you do a front flip to do something else. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, this game was very unique. This game is not for kids. Do not do not play this game with your kids.
I heard it's very bloody.
It's bloody. This story is extremely heavy and dark, despite what it looks like. You know, it looks like this cartoony furry game, but it's really dark. So yeah, do not play this game with your kids. It's not appropriate for kids at all.
Say, oh, look at this dog Gabe. Oh no, what have I done?
Yeah. And then the last one is one that I think everyone will agree with: Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
It's a good one.
Yes, this game is amazing.
I hate that the DLC that they added, because I had 100% in the game, and they added this DLC, which I despise this DLC, and it's not that long of a DLC, but I just really, really, really don't want to play it in order to finish it off again when I already had the completion.
Yep, it basically feels like playing a modern Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
It's basically what this is. So if you like Symphony of the Night, you'll like this. There is a bit of jank, but it's manageable.
Yeah, it is the spiritual successor to Symphony of the Night.
Yep.
It's from Igarashi. So.
And then that's my last honorable mention. But I will give one shout out to Shadow the Hedgehog. I unironically love that game.
What? How's that? And you're Canadian? I think he likes Shadow the Hedgehog as well. Or am I getting it mixed up? Do I have that the other way around? Let me know.
No, he loves Shadow the Hedgehog. He's that type of autistic person.
I thought so. I'm pretty sure he's a fan of Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah, I played Shadow the Hedgehog as my 1,000 subscriber special because I just thought that would be fitting.
Yeah. One more shout out for me too. One of my favorite sequels from last year as well, Hellblade 2.
Ah.
Okay.
I give a shout out to that.
I've not played it yet, but I will be. So, all right, I'll go through mine here kind of quick. Yeah, as I know, you guys know because I've mentioned it multiple times over the course of the year, but Lois probably didn't notice that the reason why I've had a few Switch games on here is because I just got a Switch last year. So that's why Dread. And my number one is also a Switch game, but there are a couple other games that were on my honorable mentions as well. Metroid Prime Remastered. I've played that game a ton of times, so that's why I didn't put it on my top 5. But the remaster, adding the modern controls, was phenomenal. So shout out to another great remaster. And Metroid Prime 2. I haven't played that game since GameCube era, and I played through it again last year, and it was great. I love Metroid Prime 2. Another one that I hadn't played in over a decade. I played through Arkham City last year for the first time since it was new on 360, and that was just reminding me why that's my favorite Arkham game. Probably the one game I spent the most time playing last year was Tony Hawk 1+2. That is another fantastic remake. I love that game. I bought it like right when it came out, and I played it for not a whole lot of time because there wasn't a whole lot to do. But then they added in a bunch of extra stuff to do in it because you could play through it again with all the additional characters. So I went through and played through it with all the additional characters and just had a blast playing doing that. Another one that I had played the original before, but I played the remake for the first time. That was the Switch version of the Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening DX was my very first Zelda game and what got me into Zelda games back in the day. And Link's Awakening, I think lowest expectation is on the opposite side of the fence of me, but I thought this was another great remaster.
I enjoyed it too, so I'm with you, Neo.
I would love to see them do this style of remake with a lot of the older Zelda games. The reason why I put on my honorable mentions is because this is basically just a facelift. They didn't really change. Like, the gameplay is exactly the same. just with a new coat of paint. So it's not like playing a new game. It's not like they really change anything. Whereas like playing through, like I mentioned earlier, Mega Man X3, playing through it as Zero on the Zero project is like playing a new game. Whereas Link's Awakening Remaster is not like playing a new game. It's the same game, just better looking. But I loved it, and I thought it was a great example of a remake. And then a couple games that I did play for the very first time and had a lot of fun. And I've mentioned this one a number of times over the course of the year was Immortals Phoenix Rising. I had a lot of fun playing through that game. And I love Greek mythology, so that helped. And it was a very pretty, beautiful, bright, and colorful game.
Yeah, I played this one too.
I had a lot of fun playing through that.
It was all right. Didn't hate it. Didn't love it. It was like, it's a fun little romp.
Yep.
I didn't know you like Greek mythology. Is it because the women always get punished for being women?
No, I've just always had a fascination with Greek mythology since I was young. Even without knowing a lot of the actual mythology, I just thought I just really liked all the different gods and stuff of all the different things. And then my last one is the most recent one that I played out of all the ones mentioned. And that was Dishonored. I've owned it for like over a decade, and I just had never gotten around to playing it. I finally got around to playing it. My biggest issue with it is the achievements take half the fun out of the game, because there's an achievement for beating it without being spotted. There's an achievement without buying any upgrades, and there's an achievement without killing anybody. So
hell yeah.
I love stealth games. And it was annoying having to not play it the fun way in order to get the achievements. So I'm still not quite done getting 100%. I have beaten the base game, and I've beaten the first story DLC. I've started the second story DLC, but I basically watched the opening cutscene, so I got more to do that. And then there's another DLC. It was actually the first DLC they released, but it doesn't have anything to do with the story. It's like this time trial mode of like completing these trials. I haven't even touched that one yet, and that's the hardest part. But it doesn't really have like a morality system, but it does. There's different outcomes to the game on how you play in low chaos or high chaos, and that's basically if you kill people or not. So playing through it on stealthy without getting detected and killing anyone, it would have been a lot more fun if I didn't have to worry about getting spotted and could have still gone. But the second time on my playthrough, I played the high chaos, and you can go around killing everyone. Was a lot more fun because I wasn't as shackled by some of the achievements.
So when are we gonna 100% Redfall, you and me?
Oh boy.
I don't plan to play Redfall, but if you're serious about it, I might consider it.
If you want to get achievements, I'll do it. Why not?
But we've got other fun co-op games to play. So Angry Canadian says, because achievements are not meant to be fun. There's plenty of games that use achievements to have, to do fun things with them, but Dishonored did not choose to do that.
What is it, like the 7 layers of hell? There's like 7 layers of like people who are autistic in gaming, and like the people who achievement hunt are like kind of close to the top of that layer of hell, and then the Sonic fans are all the way down there.
True.
So, but yeah, it's a good stealth game. I love stealth games, and it's been fun. I like the world. It's like a mix of like a bunch of different franchises. It's got like a touch of Half-Life, a touch of BioShock, a touch of Thief. It's got all these different, like, you can see all these like inspirations sprinkled into it. It's just a bummer that the achievements kind of shackle some of the fun out of the game.
You ever play Deathloop?
I will be at some point, but I have not played it yet.
All right, so after you play Deathloop, we'll play Redfall, and we'll see what's better.
I'm sure Deathloop will be much better. So, and Dude is saying we have more co-op games to play, like Halo 5 with Company Boys. That too. So, all right, Jason, what about you?
Yeah, so I got 5 as well. My first one, just because it's already been mentioned as an honorable mention, and it's mine because it's one of the only few games that I play on my phone, and that is Balatro.
Yeah,
it's a really easy game just to one run, and next you know, you're like, wow, that was 15, 20 minutes. My next one, Mario Party Jamboree. I think it's been one of the best Mario parties that's come out in a while. Personally, I like some of the maps that they added, and the mini games are just as fun if you do with or without motion controls. Another one that just came out this year, but it's a remake of a game that I played when I was a kid back in 1997, and that's Backyard Baseball 97. I'm so happy that the backyard sports games are back. Hopefully we see something new in the future. Another one, Vampire Survivor is like one of my favorite games of all time. I don't know why. It's just all the flashy lights, all the things that do it. I am a huge
my
Vampire.
Game of the year.
Like, that's one of my favorite games. But there was a game that came out this year called Karate Survivor. It's not as good as Vampire Survivor, but if you're a fan of those style of games, I do recommend it. It's a lot of fun as well. And then one that didn't make my list, but it was very, very close, and that was the Marvel vs. Capcom collection, because
nice.
Marvel's back, and I'm so happy to see Marvel 2 back. And I believe at EVO this year, there's going to be a big tournament for it, so that's going to be exciting as well.
I need to get this game still. I've been kind of slacking. The one with Power Stone comes out this year soon, right?
Yes, it comes out, I believe, March or April.
Yeah, wow. Yeah,
But yes, it's another one that I'm looking forward to this year, because playing Power Stone with a bunch of friends is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait. Even if I suck, we're going to have some fun nights come up. We're going to have a lot of fun nights with a lot of upcoming games, man. Monster Hunter at the end of February. Yeah. All the Gooning games. I just pre-ordered that Dead or Alive dating sim game just for the shits and gigs. That's going to be
Dead
fun.
or Alive dating sim?
Yeah, it's coming out at the end of March.
Isn't that one not going to be in English, though?
I don't care.
Fair
I
enough.
jokingly suggested that as a game one time. I didn't realize they were actually making it.
They are, and I also took that opportunity to pick up Extreme Beach Volleyball 3 too, to finish the collection.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the Ninja Gaidens that are coming out right now are going to do well, because it'd be nice to see Team Ninja do another DOA or something like that. So
yeah, it would be nice. I started playing Black, and then I realized, I got to actually put effort into concentrating with this camera.
Yeah, that was the biggest problem with Ninja Gaiden Black, was the camera.
Oh my goodness. I was sitting here, I was like, my greatest enemy, camera.
I think that's been the main complaint in these reviews, too. I was looking at them yesterday.
Yeah, I think some of the actual legit criticism I saw was that they just took Sigma 2 and just repainted it up.
That's what I've heard about Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, is that it's based on the Sigma version, which is from what I hear is a downgrade from the original Ninja Gaiden 2.
Oh yeah, that too.
But I heard that the reason why is because the source code for Ninja Gaiden 2 got lost, but they still have it for Sigma 2.
4 looks great.
4 looks good.
I can't wait for that one. I was like, I might play this one.
Yeah, technically we get 3 Ninja Gaiden games this year. We got the remake of Black, we get the 2D one sooner. Thank you, Ragebound, and then we get 4. So yeah, it's kind of cool to see Team Ninja doing what they're doing.
Yeah, it's been a good year for the return of Ninja Gaiden. I'm stoked.
Didn't they? Are they the? No, they're not the ones that did Dynasty Warriors, right? Isn't that a different team?
There
same publisher, different team.
Right.
Yeah, there have been Ninja Gaiden / DOA characters in some of the Dynasty Warriors games, as even
because the new one earlier. The new one came out this month too. The new Dynasty Warriors, and people.
I cannot find a physical copy of that anywhere. I've been struggling to find it at a lot of major outlets I go to.
Dude, I don't know what he's referring to, but dude's saying, "Come on, Carl, don't have the same complaints as Mazza."
I heard about the thing. I can't not have really. Is he talking about my Black review?
I don't know what he's referring to.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's just like the camera for me is just not the best, but it's also a game from 2004.
Ninja Gaiden Black was, I think it was 2005.
That's close enough. It's a product of its time. You know.
But yeah,
it's like if I go back and play Resident Evil, they have tank controls. It's like, come on, Yeah, it's a product of its time. I gotta get used to it. I was playing Mega Man Legends this year on a PlayStation original controller. Good luck controlling that tank. That's not fun either.
Okay, yeah, he says black with the camera. It's like that's the main issue with that game was the camera.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's just something I gotta get used to again. You know, when you play games that give you better camera control, it's like going from like a modern day car to a car that was built in 2004. You notice the difference, all right?
Yeah, and he's saying the Warriors devs were Omega Force.
Right. You know, I would love if they would make a new Hyrule Warriors that's a successor to the first one.
Hyrule Warriors.
That would be my dream game, I guess.
I'm sorry, Jason, did you have more honorable mentions?
Nope, that was it.
All right, cool.
All right, and that will bring us into our number ones. So,
I can lead this off. I can lead this off because my game's already been announced, and go figure what my number one game is going to be.
The biggest shock
Rebirth.
ever.
Oh, it's the biggest shocker of them all. It's it's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Yeah, no, I was super duper excited. I was lucky enough to get the game just a little bit early, so I guess I can't say lucky because when I was playing the game and things were happening, I wanted to talk to people about it and I couldn't. So bum on me on that one. So, but yeah, no, after the game was all said and done, was it my favorite out of the two that came out? No, remake is still my favorite out of the two. I do agree with Carl. It's nice to have the option of everything being open. I'm not the biggest open world fan, but I love the world so much. So I was like, cool, I could go do all this kind of stuff. But there are times where I'm like, you know what? I just want to see what's next on the menu for what's the story is going to do. So you can go do that. So that's what's nice about it is you do not have to go crazy if you do not want to. If you want to just, do everything, go for it. If you just want to do the crit path and just go through the whole story, go do that as well. You're going to miss a couple items, but you're going to get still the full story. There's a lot of extra things with some of the characters that are in the game that you get a little bit more with. And that's always great. So it's always fun to see all that kind of stuff. But if you're looking for I want these characters and I want to see all this kind of stuff, do the crit path and you're going to get a shorter game, but you're still going to get everything that you're going to love about all the characters, the story that they're retelling and everything like that. I haven't had a chance to play the PC yet. I heard all the PC stuff is fantastic. But again, if I'm going to play it, I kind of want to finish it on hard mode on my PS5, but the game is out there. So if you are interested at all, please play them. They're great. I don't care what people if they're talking bad about it, try it first and then come talk to me about it. Because like I said, it's a fantastic game. Characters are great. And if you dislike it, that's awesome. But again, give it a try.
Yeah, I agree. I am one of those people that gave it a chance. I gave Peace a chance.
And you liked it. So
yes.
It was good. And then, I can't wait for the third one. Obviously, I have a calendar. I just cross days out all the time because, again, I'm super excited for the third one.
It's like if Jason was in prison, he's just counting days to get out.
Pretty much.
Do we know when that's going to be?
Probably 2 years from now.
Okay, I was like...
When next gen hardware comes out, probably. Which, did you see that they said they basically are not going to just keep it locked to PlayStation right away for the next
Which is good. I'm happy with that. I'm one of those people. I want as many people to play this game as much as possible.
Exactly.
I'm hoping next year. Like I said, we already got PC have it. I hope Xbox gets it next year or this year even. So everybody, when the last one comes out, it could be just as big as a launch as it could possibly be. Because again, this game deserves it.
Oh yeah, if they come out for Xbox, I would probably be tempted to replay them again.
Mm-hmm.
I really did enjoy it. I had one question I wanted to ask you since I knew this was going to be your number one, so I wanted to wait it. What did you think about the one complaint I saw from a few people saying that upgrades are tied to doing too many side missions? Do you think that's a valid thing, or what?
It can't. Yes and no. It is an open world game, so having you be able to go, explore and to get those upgrades is nice. But again, if you're just one of those people that don't want to do that and you just want to do the crit path, then yes, I can understand that. But it is the way for the game to be like, hey, you should probably go do this or go do that because there's extra things you can do in the menu. Just like when you were playing Remake and you had to do all like a Chadley's missions. Granted, these are further spread apart and other things to do.
Yeah.
I kind of looked at it that way because again, if you did all Chadley's missions, you got that ridiculous item at the end of the game, and that almost kind of broke the game in a way, good and bad. But it's almost in that kind of sense. Did you have to do it? No. But if it is, it's there. It's one of the things like that's what's nice about the open world game. It's whatever you want to do, it's open for you to do. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I want to go back and eventually do the rest of the open world stuff that I kind of skipped towards the end, just for fun.
Yeah, and then I agree with you on some of the parts too. Like when you got to certain of the chocobo missions where you have to like get certain ones and you have to like hide from them. It's like, oh man, I just want to, I want to go faster to get this done. Like there was times where I'm like, okay, this is the bad part to put this. I wish I could have gotten as much of the chocobo stuff early because I'm learning about the world, but not this kind of stuff. Like there are parts of the game where it's like it slows you down because it knows it wants to put that crazy good ending later down the line. So I mean, I understand it, and it is kind of frustrating, but again, when you get to that ending and you're like, holy crap, what are they going to do for the next one?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, like there's so many like random, I mean, I've already told you some of mine, Carl. Like there's some theories that I have that, I mean, I hope would be cool if they're not real, but cool if they are real, and who the hell knows what's going to happen next. So
oh yeah, for sure. Jason and I have different theories right now, and we're waiting on AC to beat it. And then AC's like, dude, we got to do a spoiler cast and a story just far thing. I mean, we're going to be gooning good, boys, when we finally sit down for that one. Because it's good. Like I said, I liked it up until Gungaga. Gungaga broke me like pretty bad for the open world stuff because, you know, riding around on a chocobo through a forest was like, I'm getting fucking mad.
yeah, and then you have to find the certain airs to go up, and you're still lost and all that. I get it. I understand.
Yeah, it's like specifically Gungaga, and then after Gungaga, that part I was just like, nah, I'm not doing this. No, I refuse. Because it started to get into like actually flying around on chocobos, and I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah. And then to Mike in chat, I think I think part 3 is going to wrap up to this 2 and 3 because it's going to be a lot of big monsters. We'll just say that.
Big monsters. Yeah, like I said, and the character interaction system was really nice. I think, like I said, my ending in particular with the choices I made, like, felt a little bit more impactful, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like I said, I'm very looking forward to this. It's, I know that a lot of like there's some controversy behind this game, and I just say like I said, you got to take it not as like a 1-for-1 remake. Take of it as like a sequel more than a remake. I think a lot of people hang on to a word, and I think that it's been how long now? Let's just.
Well, and the thing too is like it's like even in the word that they get held up on, they spoiled it to you without spoiling it to you. It's remake.
Yeah,
like they remade the game. It's like that's what's so awesome about that first one is like, yeah, we're all going in there expecting one thing, and then holy crap, we got like I said, we got to the Back to the Future, we got almost a sequel without it being a sequel in a way.
Yeah. It's like Evil Dead 2, if you want to be more fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Neo's like, I don't like this weeb crap.
No, if there was a Final Fantasy I was going to play, the remake would definitely be where I'd probably start.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because it's not turn-based. I mean, you can make it turn-based, but there is an action-based style combat to it, and the combat's fantastic in the game.
Yeah, it looks fun. If it does finally come to Xbox, that might be the tipping point where I finally play a Final Fantasy game.
Good. Yeah, I hope it does.
Hope it does too.
So, All right. Lois, you want to give us your number one?
Can I say one thing before he goes?
Oh, yeah.
This entire time, it sounds like you're saying Lois.
Lois.
Hey, Lois.
Yes, and I've just had to sit
Lois.
here every time. I'm like, he sounds like he's saying Lois.
So,
And I just
Lois
think-
with the T at the end.
I just think
I-
of Peter's wife all the time. That's all.
Hold on.
What do you
want,
Peter?
Expectations. Or was that
Mad TV.
Yeah,
Mad TV.
Mad
Yeah.
TV.
Lower expectations.
Yeah, and I think Lois, you didn't even know about that till after we started giving you crap about
Nope.
it, right?
I had never heard of it until somebody mentioned it. I don't remember.
Yeah.
There's been several people who have actually made that reference to me, and I'm like,
Okay,
I have
what is
no
this? I
idea
gotta
what
check
this is.
out.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah, and then I
surprised I
finally-
remember it because I was like 10.
yeah, I did watch it at one point, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It looked like one of those you had to be there things.
Exactly.
Oh, and dude is saying, he's saying, no, I need to play Stranger in Paradise. That was Team Ninja, so I was very interested in playing that, but I have not.
That was
I
a
picked
remake
it
of
up.
one, wasn't it?
I
Yeah,
need to play that game
pretty much.
too.
I'm
I
looking
would
for
be
chaos.
open to playing that one since it is a Team Ninja game. So, sorry. Go ahead, Lois, with the T at the end.
Do you want to take a guess at what my number one is?
Your number one. We already wait.
Is-
Oh, I was like, you already talked about Satisfactory, but no, I talked about Satisfactory.
Yep, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I thought it was
It's-
Disney's Cars for the Nintendo GameCube.
And it's like no contest too. I played this game so much that I like lost tons of sleep over it. I think I lost weight because I stopped eating because I was just wanted to play this game. I haven't been like this attached to a game in God knows how long.
Yeah, it's
Um,
hard to put down.
Yeah, it's very hard to put down. So, yeah, we already talked about the basics of what this is. So, if you're not familiar with this genre, I would recommend people to try Factorio first because I think it's simpler and it's shorter.
Okay.
And then because this one is a lot bigger of a time commitment, but if you can get into this kind of thing, then this will be your game of the year too, probably.
So, do you have a jetpack on right now?
Yes.
Okay, I was like, you're going up, which I don't.
Yeah, I
think
believe you get
got
the
that far.
jetpack. I believe you get the jetpack in late phase 4
Yeah, okay. And
or
say,
early, maybe it's early phase 4 because there's a jetpack and there's a hover pack. The hover pack will let you fly freely, like completely freely, as long as you're close enough to an electrical source.
Okay.
So that one's used for like building and stuff like that. Like so you can like
Oh.
hover around your buildings and build structures as
Ah.
customizable as you want, basically.
That should have been unlocked way earlier because sometimes it's such a pain trying
Right.
to build stuff like higher than you when you can't get up there. It's a pain.
Yeah, especially for me because let's see if I can find some footage of what I was building.
Because I had the parachute, but I didn't get to a jetpack or a hover pack yet.
Let's see. So you can see there's some stairs up there. This is a 4-story structure that is on a giant like support pillar over the water. So
Yeah.
trying to build this without the hover pack was a nightmare. But I did it. And then I unlocked the hover pack later and I'm like, God damn it. I just wasted so much time. I just wasted so much goddamn time. But I did go into this game 100% blind and looked up nothing.
Okay.
So
I pretty much did the same, but about halfway through, I started like, because I spent a lot of time on the Satisfactory subreddit, and people started pointed out like some building tools, like some websites that'll help you like map out your logistics of your factories. I'm like, oh my god, this is a
Right.
game changer.
yeah, I think so from the time I started playing to when I beat it, when I completed phase 5, I only looked up 2 things. One of which was is there a flashlight?
Oh,
I didn't know-
believe there is.
I didn't know there was until about 50 hours into the game. And then the second one was the when you do the truck routes, those
Oh.
things are a little wonky and sometimes they don't work properly. So
Yes.
I couldn't get one to work properly and I had to look it up to see what I did wrong.
Yeah.
But that was it. I ended up completing the whole thing after on my own. So
nice.
yay me, I guess. It only took like 300 hours, but it was worth it. I have zero regrets.
I'll have to find it, but I have a video I want to send you about the most cursed satisfactory factory builds,
Oh boy.
and I know you'll appreciate it. So I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget. Send lowest
Let me see.
cursed satisfactory.
Okay, so this is in a stage where my factory is far from finished.
Yeah, because building out over the water, since there's like no land to get in the way, is like one of the best things to do. Because then you got to like send stuff up and down, and you have to build around landscape. So
Mhm.
building out in the water makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, because the way they designed the world is a little bit annoying because there's so many like cliffs and valleys and there's like no flat ground at all. I swear to God.
Yeah, very little.
The amount of flat ground there is not big enough for you to build a factory on. Like not even close. So you have to like place tons of foundations over a part of the land, or you can do what I did and build over the water or like build up
Build up into the
higher
sky.
in the sky or something. But hey, it gives you the option to do that. So
Yep, it's lets you build to your heart's content,
yep,
and yeah, it's a great game.
absolutely. Oh, and I learned that this was the same developers that made Goat Simulator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I didn't
Yeah,
know
they-
that until like recently.
Yeah, the how is it? I guess it's the same publisher, because I forget what, because there's Coffee Stain. I just forget if that's the publisher or the developer. I think
Yeah,
it's
they're both-
Coffee
they're
Stain is the
both.
publisher,
They're both publisher and developer on the Steam
Okay.
page, I think. Let me check.
because Coffee Stain, yeah, does the Goat Simulator games. They also do Deep Rock Galactic, but I think it might be a different dev team.
Yeah, Coffee Stain Studios and Coffee Stain Publishing here.
Ah, okay. All right. All right. Carl, do you want to finish this off, or do you want me to finish this off?
You can finish it off.
All right. Well, then let's hear what your number one is.
My number one is Paper Mario and a Thousand Year Door remake for the Nintendo Switch. I had never played the original on the GameCube, but everyone talks about this game like it is one of the best games of all time, and I finally got around to playing it. Played it with Kay and, of course, Angry Canadian. And we even got Mr. Metal Shred Freak Fernando playing it now, too, because I let him borrow my copy. And sounds like he's having a good time playing it. He's still playing it now. He started at 7, so he's still going.
Oh, he's playing it like on stream right now?
Yes, he is.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, this game, very charming, very fun. Was my first real interaction with a Paper Mario game, and I gotta say, it hit every expectation I had for this game plus, you know. Love the story, love the characters. I honestly think Paper Princess Peach is probably one of the funniest and best design she has of Peach design. Speaking of Peach, the story is, very charming. Gameplay is very fun, very time based. Not as BS heavy as Mario and Luigi RPGs. which is another thing too. And it's just fun. There's like so much fun and humor. Like even as you can see with the battle right now, it just becomes a stage, you know. And I do love that it still incorporates a lot of that Mario platforming and Mario creativity in these games as well, where you have to use your different party members to figure out certain puzzles and stuff like that, and you get like little bonuses for performing stuff right. The bosses are fun. I'd say the end of the game really gets like hard out of nowhere, I would say. But it's not like unfair hard, you know, so that's a plus as well. Yeah. What more can I say about this? If you ever get the chance, you should play this game, especially if you own a Switch, because it's a fun and somewhat challenging JRPG that's very fun.
Yep, I played this game on the GameCube. I think we still have it. But yeah, this game is awesome. And so is the first one on N64. That one's worth playing too.
Yeah, I hear the later ones after that have a little issues, but I'm willing to check it out. I just love how, like, also another thing too. This is probably one of the most beautiful games I've seen on the Nintendo Switch. It is in the Origami Kingdom engine, and it is really good. Like I was actually blown away. I played this on my 4K TV, and I was like, wow, they really put a lot of effort into making this game look really damn good.
Mike says, glad that I did not sell the game and actually beat it on the GameCube. So,
oh yeah, it's really, the GameCube versions are really expensive now.
It actually dropped in price.
Oh, since the remake came out, I'm assuming?
Yeah. I think this game
That
used to
makes
be
sense.
above 100. I think now it's probably 60 or less.
Gotcha.
but yeah, GameCube games, from what I hear, retain their value quite well. So, all right. Is the combat similar to Mario RPG?
Yeah, you could say so.
Okay.
It is
Yeah.
very timing based for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I know that a lot of people really love this game. Mike says Super Paper Mario for the Wii first started the different combat style platform, but I feel like had the last good story before 3DS. Okay.
Yeah, Super Paper Mario actually is kind of a cult game. A lot of people really like it, even though it's different. I'm one of them too, actually. I like it. Not as much as the first two, but I still think it's a pretty good game.
I planned on playing it last year, and then my Wii U died.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm very, very upset by that.
And Canadian saying he wants to play Super Paper Mario this year. He's always been curious. All right. Last call on Thousand Year Door. All right. Well, then I will go ahead and bring us home with my number one game that I played last year. And I know this will make Jason very happy. And because this is also another Switch game. And it is Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Ooh.
Like I said, I got a Switch last year, so I played all these Switch games that I've been wanting to play for a long time. And Ultimate was a lot of fun. I didn't care for the Spirit board, whatever like the single player mode is. That's the weakest part of it. But everything else, I just had a blast with it. It's one of the ones where it's like, if I don't really know what I want to play and I don't really have a whole lot of time, and it's like, hey, I've got like 10 or 15 minutes. Like, what do I play? Yeah, I'll boot up some Smash Ultimate and play some random characters. And Smash Ultimate is a lot of fun and probably my favorite Smash Bros. Now that I've played them. Well, not all of them, since I don't really consider with the 3DS version of full-fledged Smash Bros. Since like I said, I've never had a 3DS, so I never played that one. But I've now played Smash Bros, Smash Melee, Smash Brawl, and Smash Ultimate, and I think Ultimate is probably my favorite. And it's a lot of fun. There's just tons to it. I've only played it against the AI, so I've not played it against friends yet. So I hope to do that at some point. I'm assuming you can play it online, but Nintendo is notoriously bad for online play, so I don't even know if I want to entertain that idea. But I just know some of my most fun gaming times with my bros in college was playing Smash Bros. Brawl. I wish, and that was just with 4 people, and this one has 8. So that'd be fun to play this in 8-player with a bunch of people, around the couch. I don't know if I'll ever get the chance to, but I know that would be a blast. Going back to gaming in the old days, essentially. But yeah, with all the characters and all the stages and all the items, there's just so much content in this game. Favorite Smash Ultimate newcomer. My favorite character. Newcomer. Let me pull up the roster because it's been a little while since I played it. I probably spent the most time playing my main from Brawl, which was Ike. I've liked Ike just as much in this one as I did in Brawl. But let me pull up the roster so I can see a list, and I can probably tell you. You know what? I don't know if I could pick one in particular, but I've liked all of the new Fire Emblem characters. I know that they've had the meme of like, half the roster is Fire Emblem characters, but like
Don't get me started.
I've liked all the Fire Emblem characters, even though I know nothing about Fire Emblem, the franchise. But all the characters that they've added, I pretty much like them all. So, I'll pull up the roster here and see if I can figure out if there's one in particular I like my favorite of the new additions. But that's probably the first thing that comes to mind is just all the new Fire Emblem characters I do really like.
So if you guys are watching the thing I'm sharing here, this is from my live stream. I actually host a Smash Ultimate Arena every Monday. And even though the online is bad, it's still fun. Like if you get the right people and you're playing a certain way, then it can still be fun online. So what we usually do is just play free for all with no items.
Okay.
And just try to cause as much chaos as possible with like whatever the characters can do. So yeah, we have fun every Monday.
Let's see. So, yeah, I'm usually streaming on Monday as well. Maybe I'll have to take a break at some point to join you for that. That would be fun.
Yes, I'm going to destroy them for liking Fire Emblem, Mike. That's what I'm going to do.
T-Man saying he has Fire Emblem derangement syndrome.
Fire Emblem's great.
Yeah. I know when I was practicing to play in fighting game tournaments, if you have like the wired connection to play it, it wasn't terrible. Granted, it wasn't great, but it was at least serviceable.
Yeah. Yeah, if you play online wired, it's usually okay.
I am very much disappointed that there's only classic Mega Man and not Mega Man X, because Mega Man X, is my favorite series of Mega Man. So I got really excited before I ever played it when I saw Mega Man's Ultimate, and you see like all of the Mega Man characters show up, and I'm like, oh, Mega Man X is in it, but not really.
Just play Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or Infinite and Beyond.
That's a proper fighting game, though.
But you want your
doesn't
character.
Matter. It's got Okami and Beautiful Joe. It's already better.
And it's got Zero.
And he is the best character in the game. Like, grossly, disgustingly good.
Is he?
X and Zero are ridiculous in those games.
Okay.
The only person that's better is Virgil in 3. And I don't think there's anybody better in Infinite and Beyond or Infinite. But if you get Infinite, make sure you download the Beyond thing that Max made, because it makes the game a lot better.
You can fight with MODOK and just use Analyze Cube on everyone.
So another one that I forgot that I do really like is I like Pyra and Mithra. At least I think that's how it's pronounced. But I don't know. I didn't even know
another one of the characters I like to hate on.
No, I didn't.
Because of the ballistics, Neo. Is that why?
I didn't even. What's that?
Is it because of the ballistics?
Yeah, I guess. I like their movesets. But yeah, I had
The-
no idea what franchise they were even from.
The Resident Evil 4 joke, Neo.
Oh, well then.
That one
Yeah,
just
they're
sailed
from-
right
they're
out of
from,
the park.
Went right
They're
over
from
my head.
Xenoblade Chronicles too.
Yeah, I had to look that up because I had no idea what I could tell that they and Shulk were from the same franchise because they had the same symbol behind them, but I had no idea what franchise
Backslash.
it was until I looked it up.
Yeah,
Front slash, backslash.
I'm really feeling it.
I like your attitude.
So, oh, Canadian scene. I always like to say Xenoblade 2 is overrated. So I don't know anything about the Xenoblade franchise.
I'm actually a huge fan of the Xeno series in general, and I have a lot of criticisms of 2. So it's probably my least favorite in the entire series, actually.
Oh, and the other one, I wasn't a huge fan of him like in the actual fighting, but he was my favorite character for Home Run Derby or Home Run Smash, whatever it is, and is Kazuya, and I had no idea what franchise he was from either. I thought he was from shoot, what did I think he was from? Oh, I thought he was from Yakuza at first, and so I
Did
was
you
like,
get him
no.
mixed up with Kiryu?
So you do know Tekken characters.
I didn't know it was Tekken.
We've
until
already
someone
caught him in
told me it was-
4K once, Jason. Don't get him caught again.
I thought it was from Yakuza until someone's like, no, he's from Tekken. I'm like, oh, well, I didn't know that.
They do have a funny bit where they have in Project Cross Zone 2 where they have them all lined up right next to each other with Phoenix Wright, and he's like, "Why am I here?"
So, yeah, I think Kazuya is my highest record on the home run derby. So, oh, and I like the Bee Fighters. They're pretty cool, and I like how
Bee
you
Fighters.
can customize them to like your own. They have a bunch of different like move sets that you can pick from.
I still need those for my collection.
So, but yeah, so oh yeah, thank you, T-Man. He's saying Kazuya's name is an anagram of Yakuza, so it makes sense, and he looks like a Yakuza character. So,
Is it because they're Asian?
no, it's because the art style looks like Yakuza.
Man, y'all look alike.
Yeah. Fair enough to say is Tekken characters got a lot of their style from Virtual Fighter characters. So I mean,
That makes sense. Yeah, I could say.
Are you excited about Virtual Fighter coming back there, Jason?
oh my gosh, yes. I know that's not like the gameplay that they showed isn't actual gameplay, but if it can come anywhere near that, oh my, like the blocking in that game looks amazing, and that is sad to say.
Speaking of, I'd play
People that don't know fighting games, Virtual Fighter is great. Yesterday the 5th one came out for the PC, and they did some balance changes.
I played
Oh, nice.
Virtua Fighter 5's Final Showdown
Yeah,
back in that wasn't even that long ago. That was in 2019.
yeah. That they
it was
they
an arcade game.
re-released it and changed some of the like just some stats for some people and some move sets and everything like that, and they re-released it on Steam.
I got it because it was through Games with Gold.
Yep, it was free. Yeah, that a lot of people got it because Ultimate Showdown was on the PlayStation. It was free as well.
So,
How fun.
all right. Well, that about wraps it up. But last thing before we say our goodbyes, I remembered again. I'm doing
Hey.
better about that lately. Jason, what is our group ranking looking like?
All right, so at 5 we have 4 games. That's going to be Tekken 8, Metroid Dread, Project Cross Zone, and Factorio. That actually no, because that was on someone's honorable mention. So I'm gonna say it right now. We'll put that at number 5.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was an honorable mention for somebody. So we'll put that at number 5. We have a tie at number 3 for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door Remake. And then we have a tie at number 1 for Satisfactory and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah. Excellent. So, all
Alrighty.
right.
Good
So, yep, good stuff. That was
Oh yeah.
that was good stuff. Hey, look at there was Pyron Mether right there. And and that was one thing is that I was kind of surprised that they took out like the dual character aspect from Zelda and Sheik and separated them into their own characters. You can't switch between the two. And Pyro and Mythra kind of fill that gap because you can switch between the two at will. So
yeah, when they did that, they made Zelda and Sheik better, in my opinion. They're like better characters now.
I agree.
I haven't played a whole lot with them, but I didn't care. I don't remember caring for Sheik as much.
Sheik is like one of the most difficult characters to use in the entire game.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So Lois, do you still play in a GameCube controller, or did you upgrade to like the Pro controller, or did you switch anything?
I'm still a GameCube controller boomer.
Great controller.
Always, forever, and always.
So, but all right. Well, we'll go around the horn here, let everyone plug what they got going on. So, Lowest Expectations, thank you for joining us and making your Nerdy Neo channel debut. So, what do you got going on? What do you want to plug?
Well, my channel, you can find me at Lowest Expectations or at Chow Nights on other social media, like Twitter. I have Twitter. I also post videos on Rumble and Odyssey, but I don't stream yet because I don't have the technical capabilities of multi-streaming. Like I said earlier, I do Smash Bros streams every Monday. I do a monthly gaming news wrap-up series called RNG. Ironically.
I was watching that and it kept throwing me off because I'm like, wait, this isn't Carl.
Yeah. Yeah, my RNG is called Random News of Gaming. So I just cover all the most important, or the things that I consider the most important gaming news of the last month. And then at the end of it, I go over all of the interesting games that have come out that don't get as much promotion. Okay. So like I have a huge list of new releases that aren't AAA, basically. And then I do top 10 videos every now and then, whenever I feel like it. But I need my PC is starting to hate me for doing those when I'm editing them. It's like screaming at me the entire time, I swear. So I need to upgrade my PC before I continue those. I did a top 10 favorite Zelda moments most recently as like my big top 10. I think I watched that one. And for some reason, that video is like shadow banned. You can't find it if you search it on YouTube, unless you're like subscribed to me already. It's really weird. But yeah, that's what I do.
I didn't realize. Oh, this is the video you were talking about. I see it right here. It's from 3 days ago. Top 10 games you played last year. It's like, hey, that's basically the stream that we're doing. Basically, there's a few more on there. Because there's 10 of them, and I talked about 6 of them here. The bottom 4 are pretty. They're interesting. We'll say that. So I just put in my playlist, so I'll check that out. So, well, thank you for joining us. It was great to get in the chat, and I need to have you on open mic sometime so we can just chat more free, open-ended, free flow. Yeah, that'd be fun. So, and Carl, what do you got going on?
This Thursday, I'm kind of doing like a experimental thing that's kind of been going on now. So this Thursday, I'm doing the Trial of Phil Spencer, is what I call it. And I'm going to sit down. I could join you for this one. Yeah, you asked, and unfortunately you cannot, but there will be other times. But I think I wanted to do something where I go through basically Phil Spencer's career at Microsoft and Xbox, and kind of just talk about the things that he's done there. I think there's a lot of people right now through the years that I think they give him a unfair look at what he's done. A lot of it also kind of looking like a lot of, egg on their face, especially with all the stuff Sony's been doing and everything else like that lately. It feels like there's a reason why he's still around, and Sean Layden and Reggie kind of retired and moved on. Like I said, I just want to give a fair, honest assessment of basically how Xbox has been doing under him and how Microsoft in general in gaming. And I feel like it'll be fun. It's a fun mental exercise for me. It's kind of an open mic kind of thing. So if people want to come in and talk about it, they can do that as well. And then Friday, I will have on Shaka Zulu, and we're going to talk about obviously his streaming career and everything else like that too. Saturday, I'm going to have on Plume Gaming as we do a 2025 preview. Now that January is over, I think now we're going to start getting into the real heavy gaming part of the year, starting now until basically the end. January was kind of light, mostly just remakes and remasters that were like filling up most of the gaming sphere, and just two real noticeable games. I know Sniper Elite came out today, was it, or relatively recently?
Don't forget about Tokyo Extreme Racing.
That just went into early access, right?
Yeah, it's super good too.
I gotta look into that, but also again, it's kind of a remake in its own way.
It's a new version, but yes, it's still Tokyo Extreme Racing.
Yeah, so like I said, it was kind of a light month. It just felt like more backlog, kind of get through it. And February, is first day, Saturday, and we're gonna hit the ground running because after that, it's basically a full on sprint, especially after that Xbox Direct. What do we got? Monster Hunter, Yakuza, Doom is going to be out in May. South of Midnight is coming out. Claire Obscura, Expedition 33, like all these games got like release date. Avowed is coming out in the that same span too.
Yeah.
We're just gonna be drowning, And then that's not even with what we've heard from confirmed release dates for Sony. Obviously, we got the Switch 2 Direct in April 2nd. And then what's the lineup going to be for that? Like, it's just so much coming. And obviously, me and Plume are going to sit down and we're going to talk about it. Great guy to follow for gaming news if you're just trying to keep up on a little daily videos he does like between 15 and 20 minutes just to kind of keep you informed and to actually look up stuff too. Can't wait to have him back on. And then Saturday, last week I was supposed to do a spotlight for this game, but went out and stayed out a little too late and kind of just wore myself out. So this week, Scars Above on Sunday will be the video game spotlight for Sunday. And that's all I really got for now.
Sweet. Well, thank you for joining again, as always. And shout out to October 23, Mike, for the sub. I appreciate it. So hope to see you around again in the future. I'll mention what I got coming up here in a moment. But Jason, you got anything that you want to plug?
Right now, no, I'm gonna try to start just streaming something. I have free time, might as well use it instead of being, just boring old me. So we might start some of that fighting game stuff just because if I'm going to be competing this year in any tournaments, I better start practicing fully. So we'll see what happens on that. But other than that, no, we got 2 weeks. We got another top 5. And then we're off and running now with this. So, yeah, can't wait.
And what is the next top 5 topic?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that because I don't have the sheet of paper with me.
All right. I was going to say, if you don't have it, I can pull it up here. Let's see here. Oh, it is right before Valentine's Day.
Yes.
So our top 5 Valentine's Day episode, we're ranking our favorite gaming waifus.
Yes, that's what it was.
So that will be on the 11th. So Carl said that he's in on that one as well. But other than that, I don't think we have anyone else yet. Yeah. So if anyone wants to be on that panel and rank their top 5 gaming waifus, let us know.
Yeah. And then, don't be afraid to message me in Discord. Come to my channel as well. It's me and Neo. We simulcast this just because, like I said, this is both of our babies. But yeah, come over to Tons of Fun Games. That's where you can see me play some fighting games, some Path of Exile, or whatever I have going on. But yeah, top 5 is on both of our channels. Don't be afraid to stop by both and just say hi.
So yeah, so if you got any ideas for future topics or want to revisit in a topic we've already had and want to come on and rank yours, let us know. We're happy to revisit previous topics. So Mike says top waifus. Now I'm interested. So
he's also trying to troll me in the chat. I see him.
So, and as for myself, tomorrow night will be the continuation of Dude Souls. But now that I have beaten Dude Souls, it's going to be more of a reverse Dude Souls. And I'm going to watch the master at work. So I'm going to be watching Dude play Dark Souls. And he's going to show me how it's done. So that'll probably be much quicker to get to the end of the game than mine. So, and then Monday I'll be back with some more Metroidvania Monday, and then next Tuesday will be the return of Party Chat. It'll be the first one for this year, right? I don't think we've had one yet.
Yeah, we had to postpone.
Yeah, we have not had a Party Chat yet this year. So Carl here is my co-host, and Ryan from Legion, and the topics haven't been decided yet. But for anyone who has not been a part of Party Chat before, Ryan and Carl are my co-hosts, and we have a guest co-host, and we talk about fun stuff like your hardest game you ever beat, or favorite character from X genre, or favorite video game from X year or whatever. Fun stuff like that. So if that sounds good, come check out Party Chat next Tuesday,
or Yeast Beer.
Top 5 and Party Chat are on alternating weeks. So Party Chat will resume next Tuesday. So I'm busy on Thursday, so no open mic. But hopefully I'll finally be able to resume open mic next Thursday, because of a variety of things, I've not yet had the opportunity to have an open mic this year either. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get back to that next week, and that's where I usually just have a guest on, and we just have an open-ended conversation about video games. So if anyone wants to come on and just talk video games with me, let me know, and we'll make it happen. So. All right. Well, with that'll wrap it up for Top 5 episode 24, our favorite games we played in 2024. So thank you, panelists, for joining me. Everyone that was in chat, good to see a lot of new faces. Thanks for hanging out with us this whole time. I appreciate it. You guys all have a great night. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Go for it.
Carl, Brave Fencer Musashi, peak. Just saying.
Yeah, I tried to stream it last year, and then I had issues. I want to go back and play it again.
Oh, it's so good. It's a classic.
Oh, the one that's behind him there.
Yep.
I've never
forgot to mention that earlier.
Seen or heard of that game until I saw it as his background.
I showed it off when we were talking about Squaresoft games.
Oh, okay. I must not have made the correlation. So
I'll show you the world one day, Neo.
Yep. So, all right. Well, with that, thank you everyone for joining us. You all have a good night. We'll see you all later. And as always, in the meantime, game on.
Peace.